Good morning, one and all, and welcome to Rice-Eccles Stadium here in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah, where today we are proud to present for you on Scalooza, on KSL, and on Deseret News, the 3AA state championship football game between the Dixie Flyers and the Hurricane Tigers. Glad to be with you, everyone. My name is Travis Brunstead, and alongside me, Brad Christensen. We're happy to be bringing you what should be a very exciting championship game.
This should be fun. These two teams match up very well with each other, different styles of game, but it's going to be great.
Yeah, very impressive road to get here. Hurricane, the 3 seed from the south, Dixie, the 4 seed, and the difference in that seeding, essentially because they tied in the final standings in the southern region, but the difference came down to the game head-to-head between the two schools.
Yep, back in September.
Yep, Hurricane came out on top 34-14. Now that's an awfully lopsided score, and I'm here to tell you, and I'm sure Brad will attest to this as well, these are two very different teams than what played on that particular game.
Yeah, what a difference 6 or 7 weeks makes.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, my understanding is I don't think that Dixie has lost since that loss to Hurricane. It brought Amon Takau's back with them, a little different offense, a little different quarterback in the situation, and boy, they are peaking. They are getting hot at the right time.
They absolutely are. Yeah, as you mentioned, Amon Takau, the starting quarterback for Dixie, was injured in that game, did not play. His backup, Jaden Harrison, came in, played pretty well, but different skill sets. We'll talk a little bit about those in a moment. We're going to take a break for our national anthem.
We feel that when clients come to us, the most important thing up front is to take the stress out of a highly stressful environment, to be able to create transparency and to create a relationship of trust where they know that we're going to take care of them every step of the way. That's what's most important to us. And in the end, we've delivered on our promises.
Our game today is sponsored by Dr. Robert Prince. Dr. Prince is the orthodontist that gives your high school something to really smile about. His office is located at 754 South Main Street in St. George. Call Dr. Prince for a free consultation and find out how easy and affordable it is to straighten your smile.
For you, bronze package. Triple the price, doubles the contract.
You want a big muscle?
You want a big muscle?
I make your little muscle into big muscle.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Back with you here at Rice-Eccles Stadium as we get set for kickoff coming up between the Hurricane Tigers and the Dixie Flyers. We had talked a little bit about their first matchup earlier this year in which Hurricane came out on top, but pretty impressive semifinal games from both of these schools. Dixie pulling out a 35-28 win in last Thursday's semifinal game. The Hurricane Tigers pulling out a nail-biter at the end with a 17-14 win over the Desert Hills Thunder after a big fumble at the end of that game, Brad.
Well, and you know, the thing that it tells you is that 3AA South is just tough. It is, you know, almost like an SEC type feel. You could get beat by anybody any week.
Yeah.
You know, it was a great win for Hurricane. You know, the kids played hard to get the fumble recovery at the end, and you know, things just lined up for us very well for Hurricane. But it is a tough place to play. You know, I think attested to the fact that Hurricane last year, as the last seed, went up and played one of those northern teams, played Bear River and beat them. It's a tough league.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. This morning I saw on Twitter Snow Canyon wishing good luck to both of these schools, and they actually gave the hashtag of SEC of Utah.
I didn't see it. That's great.
So I thought that was funny, but it's pretty accurate because really some of your bottom level teams in the South have been very competitive with some of the northern teams. So it's a very competitive season, and it also shows you that while Pineview and Desert Hills were pretty consistently up near the top of the South.
Yes, they were.
It's what matters really in the end is who are the two hottest teams, and that's been the story with these two.
Absolutely. Yep. That's a great thing about high school athletics is there's a lot of momentum, and when those kids, if they feel it, they're going to do it.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. We can talk about a lot of players on these teams. We talked a little bit about Ammon Takau. One of the big stories for those of you who aren't familiar with the Hurricane Tigers, they have a different quarterback as well as the one that they had the majority of the season. It was the first game of the playoffs that Caden Langston, the starting quarterback for Hurricane, broke his ankle and tore some ligaments, was out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we wish Caden good luck. I talked to his dad the other day, and he's hoping that he's able to play a little bit during the basketball season. They think that the recovery's going well, just for the folks back at home.
Well, that's excellent. That's good to know. But Josh Parker came in. He is the brother of Taylor Parker, who was the quarterback of the Tigers when they won the state championship in 2011. But Josh came in. The only football he had played the entire season was a half of a blowout. He came in for mop-up duty in the second half of a JV game. He's only a sophomore, but he's really shown he's got a good arm, and I think he's matured quickly through this playoff run and shown that he's capable of obviously taking them at least this far.
Those Parker kids are very athletic. I've watched them as they played through the years, and real good, long, athletic bodies. Can get on the wing or get on the edge and look over that offensive line, be able to look downfield. And so I think for the passing game, that's actually quite a good thing for Josh, and for the Tigers that he's able to get the nerves through, and maybe as a sophomore he hopefully doesn't realize how big of a deal this is.
So far it seems like that hasn't quite sunk in, but terrific players on both sides of the ball. I know for the Dixie Flyers, Trenton Miller, their tailback, last week he had a 98-yard touchdown run in those frigid conditions, and he's another player that we're going to keep our eye on offensively. But I think really what it's going to come down to with these contrasting styles, can Hurricanes defense slow down the Dixie offense?
Yep.
And while Hurricanes offense, I think you could say, is not quite as strong as Dixie's defense maybe isn't as strong as the Tigers. So it's going to be a matchup game that way.
And I was looking at some statistics earlier this week, and Dixie has several players in the top 5 in individual stats.
Sure.
Ammon is number 3 on the quarterback. Miller is number 3 on the runners. And that's a little bit of a surprise because Dixie throws the ball so much that they have somebody that high on the runners, with the running backs, the fullbacks, and the halfbacks.
Sure. Well, and that's also a facet, too, I think, of some of these spread offenses. If you're successful throwing the ball, you leave defenses susceptible to draw plays.
That is true.
And once you've spread the defense out, you do have good opportunities to run the ball, and they've shown that they're very capable of doing just that.
Almost just the opposite of a team that runs quite often. They'll use a play-action pass. These guys will use the pass to set up the run.
Sure. Hurricanes, if the circumstances call for it, they are going to try to run the ball every single time. And the key is usually at that fullback position, and that starts with Jake Carr, who's come on throughout this year. He's just a sophomore as well.
Yep.
And also Jeremiah Iramia, who they try to save a lot for defense. Those of you who don't know, Jeremiah has verbally committed to BYU at linebacker. Tells you a little bit about his talent set.
Yep, and again, one of those kids, he has a D1 body. Big old athletic, muscular, the ability to put on a little bit more weight when he gets up to that level.
Sure. Yeah, and that's interesting because then you compare right alongside him at linebacker is Charlie Safita, who's every bit the playmaker, maybe doesn't have quite the body that Jeremiah does, but just as much of a playmaker.
Charlie not real big, but boy, the kid has heart.
He does. He was the one that caused the fumble in that last 2 minutes against Desert Hills, when Desert Hills was at the 7-yard line driving for what looked like it could be the game-winning score. Charlie just hit Nick Wormsley, the quarterback of Desert Hills, square in the collarbone, and that ball went flying.
Yeah, Charlie is a hitter. In fact, You know, last week Charlie had 7 tackles against Desert Hills, none bigger than that last one.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at, and what is also the first of 3 championship games today. The 4A game will feature Timpview and Roy. Interesting, Roy's coach, Coach Fernandez, was a assistant alongside Coach Monkers for Dixie.
Yeah, that's
coming up through the ranks.
That's kind of fun. That's an exciting day for those guys.
Yep, and then in the 5A game, of course, also on KSL and Deseret News, both of these other games will be as well, is Bingham and American Fork, 2 heavy hitters on the 5A level.
Yeah, I believe neither one of them lost a game. Well, Bingham lost to Bishop Gorman.
Yes, which isn't, when you lose to the team that I believe I'm not sure if they still are, but at the time they were the #1 team in the nation.
They're in the top 10, yeah. I would think. And boy, they are just tough. But Bingham played them tough.
Yes. The difference between Bishop Gorman and De La Salle is Bishop Gorman hasn't had a movie made about him yet. So, but I won't get into my opinion on the De La Salle movie. I lived through that as a youth. But nonetheless, Dixie Flyers will receive the ball first. So we'll get to see what this high-flying, high-powered offense gets to do right off the bat. The kicking situation for Hurricanes been kind of an up-and-down struggle all year. J.D. Stanworth, it's Noah Elison who will be kicking off. J.D. Stanworth has been kicking off the last few games, but he's had some foot problems. He's still going to kick extra points and field goals.
Okay,
but
both of them are soccer players.
Yeah.
They're 2-sport athletes.
Sure.
So that's at least 2-sport athletes.
Sure.
Some of them a third. If Hurricanes really got to do some contain, Dixie ended up with some great field position last week based on their kick returns, kick and punt returns. And so if Hurricane can contain, make them do a long field. I know I was talking to Coach Homer a few years ago, and one of the keys he said in high school football is if you can start the kids back as far as you can, because high school kids have a tendency to make a mistake. They'll have a penalty, they'll miss a blocking assignment, something like that, so it's tough to go the full length of the field.
Sure. All things we will be keeping an eye on as we get set for big kickoff. Special thanks to some sponsors that have come on with us this week. Brad Haar, Attorney at Law, Cache Valley Bank, InfoWest, Trailer Source, Family Pharmacy, Camping World, and Coral Canyon Chiropractic. So we appreciate their additional support in this week's championship game as we get set to kick off game #1 of a big Friday of football here in the state of Utah. We'll see who wears the Beehive crown on the 3AA level.
Exciting time for Washington County.
Yeah, it really is. And for all of you across the state that are watching, I hope you enjoy what we've been able to enjoy all year with some really good football and the 2 teams that have proven to be the best leading into our championship game. And here is the opening kick. It's going to be taken short at about the 8-yard line, across the 15 and the 20, taken down at about the 22-yard line. Returned by Connor Aitken.
Good coverage by the Tigers. Connor is, incidentally, an academic all-state.
I was just going to say that. There's going to be a ceremony at halftime honoring those kids, so we'll talk a little bit about more of them. I believe there's 3 kids from Hurricane and 3 from Dixie.
Yep. So a great athlete and also a scholar.
Yep.
Happy to see that combination.
It's a good one. You always want to have all your bases covered. Dixie's offense trying to cover base #1 here. It's a keeper by Takao. So he gets out to the 30-yard line on a first down carry of 8 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 2.
If you're a Dixie fan, that's what you like to see right off the bat, but not necessarily for the Hurricane Tigers.
No. Tab. There you go. So, 2nd and 2, out of the gun, and a flag comes in. Probably had some movement here prior to the snap on one side or the other. And a false start. It's always nice in these championship games. We get to hear a microphoned referee. Make some of the translation a little
that
easier.
That will be helpful.
So that'll make it 2nd and 7, Ball now back at the 25-yard line on that yard line with the Pac-12 logo.
Well, the excitement of those kids.
Big run, trying to get to the outside, back to the 30.
Looks like he got the first down. Or no, not
I think
quite. They marked him just a little short, didn't they?
About a yard shy. So it'll be 3rd and 1. So Takao has kept it on the first two plays thus far.
It's going to be a long afternoon for Hurricane if they can't stop that, if they can't control that corner.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Cal's such an athlete.
Definitely. Kind of a dual threat. Have to contain Miller up the middle as well. It's a big third down. And the Tigers defense holding strong. They stopped him. Loses about a yard on the carry by Miller. And a huge stop, setting a tone early for Hurricane.
That looked like Cole Richens who got in there, number 6.
Yeah, it looked like he was kind of blitzing from that right outside corner. And shut him down. He was the first one to get there. A couple more joined in the fray. So we'll have our first punt of the game. Back deep is Noah Elison and Kyle Williams for the Tigers. A little bit of a high snap, but brought down cleanly. Not a long punt, and fair catch signaled. And that could have been close. Aitken was kind of right in the face of Noah Elison, and I kind of wondered if he'd fumbled it if they would have thrown a flag.
Yeah, very possibly. He didn't give him a lot of room, and he was waving his arm. Big wave on the arm.
So 1st and 10 here, thanks to Academy Mortgage for helping us out with today's game. On the first possession of the game for the Hurricane Tigers, they start from their own 35-yard line, a little better position than Dixie. Off on down, it's Nick McDaniel who makes a nice dent in that Flyer defense, picks up about 9 yards.
That's a fantastic run. Good blocking up front.
Nick last week, kind of in and out of the lineup as he twisted his ankle. It wasn't anything more severe than that. I talked to one of the Tiger coaches this week who let me know that, yeah, he just twisted it. He should be okay. And he is definitely a difference maker when he's able to turn on the Jets. So 2nd and 1, handoff this time to Stanworth. He turns the corner. He's going to pick up the first down, gets about 3 yards. And the first down.
Boy, that moves Hurricane almost to midfield. That's a great field position. Great way to start this game for Hurricane.
Sure.
Two good runs.
Definitely want to build momentum. And as we said, if they can do it on the ground, they are going to take that every day of the week and be thrilled with it. We may not see the coaching staff doing cartwheels, but mentally, perhaps.
They would be excited. They would be thrilled with that. 0 pass attempts.
1st and 10 Tigers near midfield. First carry by Iramia. He's going to pick up about $1.50 on that carry.
I would assume that Dixie is going to focus on Jeremiah. He's such a good athlete. You got to make sure that he doesn't beat you.
Right.
But with Hurricane, Hurricane has so many running backs that get touches. Mm-hmm. It's tough to plan for that.
Yeah, it's hard to key in on one specifically.
Exactly.
Although when Jeremiah is in there, he does get his share of carries. First pass is complete by Parker as he's going to take it into Flyer territory. It'll go down to the 46-yard line. So it'll still be 3rd down and about 3. And Dixie did a good job to hold him.
Yeah, contained him. This is a big 3rd down. Obviously, they're all big, but 3rd and 3 is doable for Hurricane normally.
Sure. Tigers defense, I think, set a little bit of a tone defensively on that first drive. Dixie's defense has an opportunity here to do the same. So we'll see if they're able to step up and make a big play here on 3rd down. Here's a little pitch to Stanworth, trying to go up the middle. Not much there. Got maybe a half yard at best.
Boy, I'm telling you, that penetration by the Dixie defense just stuffed that.
So our first situation in Flyer territory, 4th down and 3. Thus far, it doesn't look like we're seeing any punters come on. So,
yeah, roll the dice a little bit.
It is. That's one thing you see in high school football. You see a little more of this once you're in enemy territory.
Put a little pressure on your offense.
Here's a pitch, right-hand side, trying to get the corner, and I believe he got the first down.
It looks like he did. It's going to be close, but I think he got it by about a half a yard.
Yeah, the officials are standing at the 42, so a big run by Stanworth. Got just enough. Both of those corner sweeps that he's run,
there we go.
He's gotten just enough.
Yep, signaled them down. Move the chains.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers as they continue on this drive on a beautiful day. Can't ask for better weather than this this close to Thanksgiving, can you?
Yeah, especially considering last week. We are lucky to have this.
Frigid was the word of the day, especially last Thursday. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Stanworth in motion. Handoff to the up man is Iramia. Iramia, not much, maybe another 1.5 yard carry there.
It does not look like there is much give in the center of that Dixie Flyer defense. They're getting a little bit of penetration. Hurricane seems to be doing a little bit better on the corners, getting around the edge.
Yeah, they are. Iramia is also the kind of guy, I think his runs up the middle, he tends to wear defenses down.
So maybe a little bit later in the game.
Yeah, that's what happened last week at least. And flag on the snap. Yeah, it looks like a false start against the Tigers.
Well, Jeff Martinez, who is the nose guard for Dixie, is a great athlete. Moved Hurricane back 5 yards.
Yep. Yeah, that's one thing you see on this 3AA level is sometimes you get a little bit smaller linemen. So you do tend to get some really good athletes on the line, don't you?
You do. They're athletic. Talking to the folks over at Dixie, they think that Jeff may have a chance to play a little bit, maybe a Division II, Division III, junior
a
college.
Dixie State SUU type
something
situation.
Like that.
Sure. Here's a pitch, right-hand side. Not a lot for McDaniel. Another 1/2 yard maybe. So going to be 3rd and long for Hurricane, and as we so oftentimes see on this level, you love to see big plays, but oftentimes penalties are the things that shut down drives as much as defenses.
And it does. That's what Chris Homer was saying earlier. That just a kid will make a mistake, something will happen, and it looked like 2 or 3 blocking assignments missed over on the right side of that line on the last play.
Yep. So big 3rd and long. Back to pass is Parker. He rolls out to his left. He's got a man, throws it. It's incomplete. So 4th down once again, and you would think a punt, but I don't see anything different coming out.
13 yards is a little.
And here comes the
punt
team.
Here goes the punt team.
Yeah. I was starting to wonder.
It's a little different than trying to get 3.
Yes.
especially if you're a Hurricane Tiger. Picking up 13 doesn't happen often.
Yes.
Unless it's a big run, around the corner. But you don't plan for that.
Although Parker, since he's been the quarterback, there have been some bigger pass plays. But I don't think they're going to push their luck, especially this early in the game. They'll try and hopefully get the field position game. It is partially blocked. So a big play by the Dixie special teams. And they're going to start with fantastic field position.
That's almost feel like you should have gone for it if you'd have known, if you had the crystal ball and knew what was going to happen next.
Yep. So.
Did you see who came and blocked that? I didn't really. It
I
looked like
did
somebody
not.
From the right side of that line.
I did not. Keep in mind, folks, we're happy that we're able to bring you these.
It was Martinez.
Was it? Okay.
Martinez.
Yep, you're right.
55.
Looking up on we get the advantage of the replay on the Jumbotron here. So 1st and 10 for the Flyers. Back to pass is to Cow, and he completes it out in the flat. Big play into Tiger territory, and breaking tackles is Brett Barbin, and Barbin gets all the way down to the 28-yard line, and if you're the Hurricane defense, this is the aspect of the Dixie offense that you're afraid of.
They are named the Flyers for a reason. It is a high-flying, fast, West Coast type offense.
So 1st and 10
great catch, but a fantastic run after the catch.
And great blocking. Give the blocking credit. That was set up perfectly
great blocking.
For the Flyers.
Missed a couple of tackles, broke through a couple of tackles, and now we're Flyers are moving.
They are. They're moving well into Tiger territory. Takao keeps it and is brought down. He picks up a couple of yards. So it'll be 2nd and 8. Again, this read option that's become so popular, and Dixie has shown they're very capable of running it really well. And when you've got a good running quarterback like Takao, it really makes it difficult to defend.
And you notice Takao he was riding the running back for about 5 or 6 steps before he made a decision.
Pass in the flat, pass a little high, Easily could have been intercepted, but
that is not a play that Dixie often, is what the receivers seemed quite open. Defensive back had good coverage, but could an easily catchable ball.
Sure. So big 3rd and 8 here for the Flyers.
And I'm not sure. I don't know how good Dixie's kicking game is. I don't know how good their kicker is. That'd be a long field goal from there. 40,
you don't get a lot of high school kickers that are real accurate from, about 30 out. Wide open in the flat. A huge play for Dixie. Inside the 10, the 5, touchdown Flyers. What a play. That was all Logan Schweitzer, as Takau found him, and Schweitzer was wide open on broken coverage by the Tiger defense.
Broken coverage and then a missed tackle.
Yep. So, huge play.
Thought that the Hurricane defensive back would get over there and make the tackle. But good running after catching the ball by the Dixie Flyers.
Extra point is up, and it is good. So, at the 4:49 mark of quarter number 1, we'll take a break here on Scalooza, KSL, and DeseretNews.com. 7-0 Flyers.
Now is the time to push yourself, to dream, to learn, to achieve. Moments like these come once in a lifetime. This is your opportunity. Challenge yourself, explore, create. Belong to something you can be proud of. Do it for yourself. Excel, reach, become. This is who you are. This is Snow College.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Back with you from Rice-Eccles Stadium. 7-0 is our score. The Dixie Flyers putting the first points on the board following a Snow College touchdown and a Sunrise Tire extra point. And Flyers are on the board and in business, and we'll see if the Tigers can answer.
This is a gut checker right here.
Yep.
See how you respond after the other team scores.
Hurricanes done a good job throughout these playoffs of bouncing back when they've been down and able to fight off momentum swings. So we'll see if they're able to do that again. Squibbler kick taken at about the 9. It is Jake Carr on the return. He gets across the 25 down to about the 27. So that's where the Tigers will start 1st and 10 on drive number 2. Good turnout from both fan bases as well.
Yeah, people made the drive up here. Thankfully, the weather was pretty good. I think it's going to be a little snowy tomorrow for Utah, Arizona.
That might bode well for the Utes.
That would.
Who knows if the Wildcats are not used to that?
I don't know if they would know how to play in the snow. Rich Rod and the boys.
That's right. We'll find out, I suppose. So 1st down play, pitch on the outside. It's McDaniel. He's got a hole to the 40 near midfield before being knocked out of bounds, and the first explosive play by the Hurricane Tigers.
That is a great response. Good blocking on the outside. The pitch went wide, and McDaniel hit the corner, and wow, beautiful play.
Really was. Look for just a second. He's got terrific speed when he's in the open field. But a couple of Dixie defenders had the angle on him, so.
Well, I'm wondering if that ankle's a little tweaky on him.
Still could be a little ginger. He was heavily taped up in pregame, we noticed. So 1st and 10 near midfield. Cole Richens goes in motion. Back to pass is Parker. He throws it deep. He's got Elison, who adjusts, makes a terrific catch, and trying to break the tackle of Aitken, but he gets down to the 13, and the Tigers are in the red zone for the first time.
Boy, that started out with fantastic protection by the offensive line. Always want to give out a shout out to the offensive line when they make a great play like that. Had enough time, Parker had enough time to throw the ball, And Elison, fantastic catch.
He's only 5'8", but he's got a really great leap.
He's very tough.
And he
very tough kid. And again, another very athletic family. His dad was a great athlete, still plays basketball and things
Sure.
like that. His brothers, just really, really good kids.
Yep. So, 1st and 10 at the 13. Here's the handoff up the inside. It's McDaniel inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. You can hear it's the atmosphere up here right now is really fantastic. Both of these fan bases, anything positive, they are going just crazy.
Yeah, that's fun to see. I know they brought up some students. It's just exciting. High school football is just fun.
It is. It's terrific. So 2nd down and about 3. Handoff up the middle and getting down to the 2-yard line. So it looks like it'll be a 1st and goal now for Hurricane. You can drop down. There you go. 1st and goal. So we approach the 3-minute mark of quarter number 1 here on KSL and DeseretNews.com. Appreciate our partnership with them today and being able to bring you. It's been an exciting game thus far. Pitch and a flag comes in on McDaniel's carry. Let's see what the call is here.
I would think some kind of a motion.
False start.
False start.
Not brutal. It'll still be 1st and goal, and you're at the 7.
Put you back to the 7. With the way Hurricane runs, for some teams it's tough. You move back there, and you're not used to the smash mouth football. But
Sure.
Hurricane, it's a forward 3 or 4 yards in clouded
Sure.
dust sometimes. So I don't think this is going to. Hopefully, this won't affect Hurricane as much.
So 1st and goal from the 7. Parker under center. Handoff, right-hand side, and nothing much there.
Every time Dixie's defensive line gets penetration on Hurricane's offensive line, they are putting a stop. And that's a general statement always. But if they're standing 2 yards in the backfield, it makes our running backs not be able to get the corner and makes them not be able to hit the hole where they're expecting to hit the hole.
Sure.
So no momentum, and they're kind of having to shuffle their feet as they're getting hit, and and only got 1 yard on this play.
So 2nd and goal. Approaching the 2-minute mark here of the first quarter. Tigers offense does use a lot of time. Here's a pass, a little bubble screen out in the flat, and nothing doing. They're going to lose a couple of yards.
Looked like, I thought that was a good play. But
yeah. Dixie's defense just read it perfectly.
They just read it perfect.
And the other key on those bubble screens is if that other receiver that's out in the flat does not follow through on his block, it's a busted play.
Yeah, and there were, it felt like 3 kids out there, 3 of the Dixie kids out there on the stop.
So 3rd and goal, ball now at the 9-yard line. Motion, pitch, trying to turn it inside, and not much for Nick McDaniel, and the Dixie defense steps up huge.
Great defense.
So the field goal team for Hurricane will come on.
And that's number 1. That's R.J. Wilger, who's in the middle of that play for Dixie, and plays defensive back. Had a big game last week for Dixie. 2 interceptions, a lot of tackles.
So we'll see if the Hurricane special teams can come through here. Ball at the 8-yard line, so that makes this about a 25-yard field goal. Doesn't seem that it should be too terribly difficult, but Stanworth lines it up. Kick is up, and kick is good. So 54 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll take a quick timeout here. 7-3 is our score. The Dixie Flyers with the lead.
We love purchase business in our office. This is, in our branch, this is what we strive to do, is we want to be number 1 in purchases. And we recognize that realtors, builders, affinity partners, they play a large role and a key role in making us successful. So we try to do everything we can to be able to deliver on our promises, to create events or opportunities to be able to just stay in front of them and to get to know them and just be a part of their business. We treat it as a true partnership.
Now is the time to push yourself, to dream, to learn, to achieve. Moments like these come once in a lifetime. This is your opportunity. Challenge yourself, explore, create. Belong to something you can be proud of. Do it for yourself. Excel, reach, become. This is who you are. This is Snow College.
Back with you, our score 7-0 here in the first quarter, 54 seconds left.
It was nice to see Hurricane answer the way they did.
Yep.
Couple of penalties.
Sure.
Hurt us a little bit, especially down. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Especially down, on the goal line. We're normally, quite often, Hurricane can overcome that little 5-yard penalty down on the goal line, but got to get engaged with the defensive line.
You're absolutely right. We'll see if Dixie's offense has the same success they had on their previous drive. Noah Elison set to kick things off. Here at beautiful Rice-Eccles Stadium, former home of the opening and closing ceremonies of the Winter Olympics. Always a great place to see a football game too.
Yeah, I got a chance to come to the opening and closing ceremonies.
Kick return. Aitken kind of slowed down by bumping into his own man.
If he wouldn't have done that, I'll bet he would have had another 10 yards.
Yeah. So Dixie will start this time from their own 27.
Very similar kids. I'm pretty good friends with the administration of both schools.
Sure.
And just good, hard-nosed, good kids, hard-working. It's fun. It's fun to see good kids get rewarded.
Absolutely. Yeah, both of these schools real classy. Their administrations and athletic departments actually have very good relationships. So I think they're have a lot of respect and admiration, and will be happy for either side, whoever wins. First down play, out of bounds at the 34-yard line. So that'll make it 2nd and 3. Clock stops with 43 seconds left.
Nice, just little pitch and catch out there for Dixie.
To Cow on the read option, hands it to Miller, and Miller stuffed at about the 36.
Boy, that is close.
It's going to depend on the spot.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking where those officials are spotting that, and it is going to be
maybe a half yard shy. Yeah. 3rd and maybe a foot. So we'll see what Dixie opts to do here.
And good penetration by the Hurricane defensive line.
Mm-hmm. Thinking this should be the last play of our first quarter. And movement. Not sure if the center jumped or if that's going to be an offsides and an easy first down for Dixie.
And it looked like the nose guard hit the center.
He did, but was he drawn off is always the question. It is an offside, so Dixie will pick up the easy first down.
Boy, that's, as they say, there's no excuse for a nose guard. They're right over the top of the ball.
Staring at the ball, yeah, you're right. That's the kind of thing that coaches get bruises on their foreheads for banging their clipboards into them. First down, read option. Very close to getting blown up, but instead turning the corner, getting a first down on a big run into Tiger territory.
That looks like the end of the first quarter.
It is. So at the end of one, our score is 7-3. The Dixie Flyers head to quarter number 2 with the lead here on KSL and Deseret News.
We feel that when clients come to us, the most important thing up front is to take the stress out of a highly stressful environment, to be able to create transparency and to create a relationship of trust where they know that we're going to take care of them every step of the way. That's what's most important to us. And in the end, we've delivered on our promises.
For you, bronze package. Triple the price, doubles the contract.
You want a big muscle?
You want a big muscle?
I make your little muscle into big muscle.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Back with you here on KSL, Deseret News, and Scaluzza.com. As we get set to start the second quarter of action, Dixie with the ball in Hurricane Tiger territory at the 45, and they have a 7-3 lead early on. Dixie moving the ball pretty well here, but a costly penalty gave up the first down right before we headed to the break. Pass in the flat is caught, and good open field tackle there by Noah Elison.
Boy, Dixie has got there's a little bit of cushion almost every time they're throwing that pass.
Out of the gun. Motion and keeper by Ammon Takao around the left-hand side. A big first down. He is plowed out of bounds near the 25-yard line, but Dixie moving the ball.
You know, he is such a double threat, Ammon is. If he can get the corner, it's so tough to contain him.
You know, and Ammon's he's got some revenge factors going on in him right now. He didn't play in that first game that his team lost by 20 in, and he's also a kid that grew up in Hurricane.
That is true.
So he's not that there's bad relationships. He's friends with a lot of these players, but
went to elementary school with all of them.
Low pass is incomplete, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Glad to be with you here. Travis Brunstead and Brad Christensen on the call. Brad, how big is it to play in a stadium like this? I mean, I know you kind of know.
As a high school kid, I had a chance when I was in high school. We played our state championship at BYU Stadium, and you know it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of these kids. You know, they're not going to play at a D1 school.
Big run, going to pick up about 8 on the second down carry by Miller. Nice gain, but yeah, you're right. Most of them aren't going to get to play on a field like that. I know you were blessed. You got to play some D1 football, but
and it gives them an opportunity. I mean, it's just fun.
Sure.
And the stadium's not as full as it is when the Utes are playing here, but it is neat. I had a friend, high school, his dad took a whole bunch of pictures when we were up at BYU, and I just saw those a few days ago, and it brought back great memories.
Sure it does. 3rd down, Takao back to pass, pressure in the backfield, screen pass to Miller, and he's going to get across the 10, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Flyers.
That was a great patience by Ammon Takao.
Great call.
Really good call. Just Hurricane was coming in, looked like they were going to get a hit on him, and just dumped that off on that screen.
Sure. So, game-changing drive opportunity here for Dixie. Boy, if they can go up 14-3, Hurricane's not an offense that plays a great catch-up game.
They don't play real great from behind.
Out of the gun, and handoff. Miller trying to turn the corner. He's tripped up in the flat by, I believe that was Jake Carr on the tackle.
Up a couple of yards.
No, it was Tyson Yardley, excuse me.
Good job, Tyson. Another multiple sport athlete.
And another person, I believe, who's on that academic list, I believe.
Yep, he is.
We'll get into that a little bit at halftime, as we mentioned, when the kids are honored for being academic all-state.
This is a big test for Hurricanes defense right now.
Takao back to pass. He looks, throws in the flat. It is caught. Bounces off one tackler and is drilled at the 7. Huge collision there. And we've got a Tiger player down. That was a huge hit.
That was a great hit. A lot of the filling in. The first tackler slowed up the runner. 2 or 3 more guys come over. That's why you always pursue. They always thought coaches will tell those kids, pursue, pursue, pursue.
Trying to see who that was who is down. Let's take a quick timeout and hear from Dr. Robert Prince, one of our sponsors.
Our game today is sponsored by Dr. Robert Prince. Dr. Prince is the orthodontist that gives your high school something to really smile about. His office is located at 754 South Main Street in St. George. Call Dr. Prince for a free consultation and find out how easy and affordable it is to straighten your smile.
Back with you, 9:22 left here in the first half. Cole Richens, the injured Hurricane Tiger, helped off the field.
Good thing he saw him walking off on his own power. That's always a good sign. But he is, plays that outside linebacker. Really tough kid. Big third down play.
Certainly is. This is the difference between 7 points and third points is oftentimes pretty huge. So Takao out of the gun. Sends a man in motion now. He's looking, trying to find a man, and it is caught. A great catch and a Dixie touchdown. It's Jaden Harrison, the man who quarterbacked this Dixie team in the loss in the regular season, makes a huge, maybe a little sweet vengeance for him, catching a touchdown pass there.
Harrison, again, another just a fantastic athlete. A kid who can play quarterback and then play receiver. My understanding was that he and Ammon were fighting for that starting quarterback position over the last couple of seasons, and good kid who's willing to do whatever it takes to win a football game.
And showed it there, as it is now 14-3. So, game changer. We shall see how the Tigers answer back. We'll take a break and be with you here on KSL.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs. Our game today is sponsored by Dr. Robert Prince. Dr. Prince is the orthodontist that gives your high school something to really smile about. His office is located at 754 South Main Street in St. George. Call Dr. Prince for a free consultation and find out how easy and affordable it is to straighten your smile.
Back with you here on KSL, Deseret News, and Scaluzza.com. Here at Rice-Eccles Stadium, it's 14-3. The Dixie Flyers with the lead on the Hurricane Tigers. We talked a little bit about the fact that Hurricane, not a great play from behind team, but they've also not had a lot of opportunities to be down by two scores.
Haven't needed to do that much.
Sure.
There's plenty of time, and there's still over 9 minutes left in the second quarter. There's no time to panic.
Sure. A lot of football left to be played. You are absolutely right.
And Hurricane can, we can get some big plays. Maybe not as much on the passing side, but some of those break as well. So we'll see what happens here real quick.
So 1st and 10. Play action, and a pass in the flat is caught. Jake Carr breaks the tackle, picks up the first down. He's into the secondary, and he's down near midfield. So a great play by Jake Carr.
Boy, fantastic play. Good running by Jake.
Yeah. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds actually at the 35, so he'll still pick up the first down.
Picked up almost 15 yards
Sure.
on that one.
I'll tell you what I love about play calls like that. So oftentimes when you run the ball as much as Hurricane does, the passing game is just as easy as you've caught them off guard. Give your playmakers a chance to make plays in the open field.
You want to get the ball in the hands of your athletes.
So another whistle, and
boy, I see Hurricane.
It's going to move them back 5 yards again.
Keep shooting themselves in the foot.
I think is that the third false start penalty, I think?
Third one. Boy, that is killing them.
(14-3) is the score. Tigers trying to answer back on a couple of very impressive Dixie drives.
Yeah. Controlled the ball.
They've run the ball really well as Dixie, too.
Yes, they have.
That's a key. Handoff on first down. It's Carr once again, and he'll get close to that original line of scrimmage. This will be about 2nd and 10.
And that's all Hurricane needs to do on this. They just need to pick up some yards, get another 5 or 6 on this one, make it manageable on 3rd down. Sometimes the high school kids just have a tendency to want to, they want to do a play that's going to score 14 points. And, you've got to be patient.
Sure. Yeah, you really do. 2nd and 10. Motion. And Parker back to pass, completes the pass to Carr. It almost looked like it was a very similar pass play to the one he broke earlier, but just on the other side. And Dixie read that beautifully, puts a shutdown to it, and after a gain of about a yard, it'll be 3rd and 9. Down and distance also not Hurricane's friend in these kind of situations.
No. Boy, and I'll tell you what, Dixie is crowding the line of scrimmage. If there's a way for Hurricane to, one of those receivers to get past that Dixie defense.
Parker back to pass, completes it in the flat. Only picks up a couple on the pass play. I believe that was Trayson Shamo on the catch. So another 4th down situation, and Hurricane not with the drive they wanted, trying to answer back the Flyers, and a punting situation here. The last punt they attempted didn't go so well. It was blocked, and Dixie started with fantastic field position, and that was really probably the genesis of this nice run the Flyers have been on. Nice roll. Oh, you can't ask for a better roll than that, can you?
Fantastic punt. Wow.
Wow. Down to about the 1. The ghost of Tom Hackett, the Utes punter who has become a legend, in the foot of J.D. Stanworth there.
That was a great punt. Thankfully for the Hurricane Tigers, the Dixie kid let it roll. Those are tough, though. As you're the receiver for that one, the kid back receiving that punt, it's just tough to know because it takes a bad bounce, might hit the ground, pop up, you fumble, so you let it go and you lose another 20 yards.
Yeah, you do. So 1st and 10 for Dixie. Whistles on the field. I believe.
I don't see a flag. I see the TD timeout guy.
The TD timeout guy is on the field. Maybe we'll take a quick timeout as well here on
back. Sorry.
We feel that when clients come to us, the most important thing up front is to take the stress out of a highly stressful environment, to be able to create transparency and to create a relationship of trust where they know that we're going to take care of them every step of the way. That's what's most important to us. And in the end, we've delivered on our promises.
Back with you. 6:58 left here in the first half. 14-3, Dixie Flyers with the lead. Travis Brunstead, Brad Christensen with you on today's broadcast from Rice-Eccles Stadium. Little cool, but some good sunshine. And that was an interesting play. The motion man went up under center when Takao was under the gun. I'm not sure I've seen that before.
I don't know if I have ever seen that either. That was interesting. It makes you a little nervous being in a shotgun formation here.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because once you're back there, if your line has to drop back a little bit to protect you, boy, a holding call, that cost you 2 points.
Yeah.
And obviously the turnover scare that you often get down here.
And Hurricanes defense has a chance to come up big when it's big.
Takao with a pass in the flat, and it looks like it's going to be a Dixie first down out to the 11-yard line. Boy, if Dixie can put a long drive together, run some clock, and put points on the board, that could really make it tough.
That would be tough for Hurricane.
Flyers, of course, the 2012 state champions. So either way, whoever winds up winning this game is going to have their second title within just a handful of years, and that's pretty impressive. Both programs have been solid. Here's a run across the 15 up to the 17. Miller on the carry.
The 3 games that are playing today, all 6 of the teams that are playing in it, the last time they played in the state championship, they won the state championship. I think American Fork was in 1962.
Great play, blown up by Tyson Yardley.
Tyson is not very big, but boy, he is tough.
He is. Well, and in talking to a couple of the coaches, they've said one of the great assets is that he's not very big. Because sometimes he blasts through the line and nobody saw him, and then he's able to make a big play.
And he's hard to block. Sometimes those guys are a little bit smaller. You get a hand on him and you knock him off, but he's got such a good sense of balance and low center of gravity. I don't know if it's the athleticism of the other sports or what, but boy, he's a good athlete.
So on 3rd and long, back to pass. Another screen play, and Safita read it perfectly and drills. I mean, he drilled Miller. He took a heck of a pop.
By Charlie Safita.
Wow. And props to Miller for getting up from that, because that's
Charlie, Charlie isn't very tall, but boy, he is built like a bowling ball.
And he knows where to stick his helmet when he hits you.
Absolutely.
You don't see him getting called for helmet-to-helmet calls or anything dirty.
No.
He just knows exactly where to place his body to just kill the play.
Well, and I had heard, you play, you want to hit a guy hard. You don't want to injure him.
Right.
But you want to hit him hard. You want to make him think about it.
Whoa, a high punt, and there is not much distance on that. It's going to bounce out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, so the Tigers will get their best field position to start a drive.
Just the opposite of what we were talking. This will give Hurricane a chance to maybe go in and score before going into halftime.
So we appreciate all of our sponsors that have helped us out today. Family Pharmacy, Coral Canyon, Trailer Source. Some of the new sponsors that we have picked up this week for this championship game. Here at Rice-Eccles, Hurricane Tigers with a chance to put some points on the board here, and they really need to take advantage. Handoff, it's Iramia getting across the 30. Nice spin move, getting down near the 32.
Great tough running by Jeremiah.
So it'll be 2nd and 4. As I said, he has a running style where he doesn't get a lot early on, but as the game progresses, he gets a little bit more.
Just churning those legs. 220 pounds hitting you all day long has got to be tough for a defensive lineman.
Certainly can be. Here's the pitch. It's Shamo out in the flat, trying to turn the corner, and Not sure he got much. Looks like he basically got back to the line of scrimmage. So
yeah, picked up a little bit. The Dixie Flyer defense strung that out, did a good job stringing that out.
So it looks like it'll still be 3rd and 4. So the ball at the 27-yard line. Big 3rd down play, but I think if you're Hurricane, this is definitely 2-down territory.
I would think so as well.
Hand off to Iramia, and he gets down to the 25, so he's still going to be 2 yards short.
Kind of one of those ankle tackles.
Yep. But those can be pretty effective. You hit him hard enough.
Yeah, he's trying to keep his legs churning, and it just kind of got brought out from under him.
Yep. So 4th and 2, a big play here.
I think definitely for Hurricane, this is one you want to go for. This is not one you don't want to settle for a field goal here.
No, but you worry that starting with this field position, they don't pick this up, and that's a big momentum.
That is a big momentum swing for the Dixie Flyers.
Clock ticking down, under 3:20 left here in the first half. And Hurricane taking a timeout. They ran that play clock all the way down, and I think they wanted to talk about it. If you're going to take the timeout in this end, I think it's good that you use your play, run that play clock down. You don't want to give Dixie a lot of time regardless.
Absolutely. And you might as well, you got 3 timeouts left. Why not take one here and make sure you have all the kids on the same page?
Sure. No, absolutely. You don't want to, this is a big play, as we mentioned, so you definitely want to make sure you've got all your ducks in order. I know ducks is
your Tigers in a row.
Yes. Ducks is a painful thing to say here at Rice Eccles for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
But again, great crowd coming down here. We appreciate all of you watching at home or at work. We know a lot of people in the Washington County School District probably taking some opportunities, especially in St. George proper and in the Hurricane Valley.
And I'd like to say that the Hurricane Intermediate School students, you better get to work. I told them that they could listen to the game if they kept working.
You heard it from the boss, so. Big 4th down here. Here's a pitch. It's Nick McDaniel, and he is stuffed.
Boy, if you look at that, there are 4 Dixie Flyers in the backfield, including Jeff Martinez right there. It just makes it tough for a running back to get any steam going at all.
Credit to Dixie's defensive line. They are owning the line of scrimmage on a lot of these plays.
Especially the stuff that's going up the middle.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great point. Every big play Hurricanes had has been kind of out in the flat and on the edges.
Been on the edges.
So now Dixie does get the ball with a little over 3 minutes left, and they've shown they've got big play capability, and 3 minutes is plenty of time for them to put more points on the board. I think if you're Hurricane,
Dixie, they can score in a hurry.
Yes, they can. Takao back to pass, looks deep over the middle, a little bit of a high throw, incomplete.
Great coverage by the Hurricane Tiger defensive backfield.
Intended receiver there for Dixie was Logan Schweitzer, who had a big play in that first quarter. So Takao looks to the sidelines to get the play.
Well, this is a time if Hurricane can put some pressure on Takao.
They haven't blitzed much, have they?
Well, he does not get sacked very often.
Yeah. Low snap and a late flag. I thought there was a little movement on the line before the snap, and the officials correspond with the flag. False start on Dixie. Moves it back 5.
And Dixie, on the other hand, is able to pick up these big chunks in a hurry.
Yes, they are. Indeed they are. Not much time has elapsed. 3:04 still left on the clock here. And movement, I think there was a false start again. I thought the right tackle jumped a little bit.
Yeah, that looked like Quando Iramia. Jeremiah's little brother is pointing at the offensive line.
Yeah, Jaden Rawlings, the right tackle, kind of got up out of his stance a little quick. He was fearing the Quando, apparently.
Those Iramia boys, they are tough.
Yes.
Yeah, Quando's only a sophomore.
He has. Yeah, he's only a sophomore. That's always a little staggering considering he's
boy.
got some size on him. Iramia getting some pressure on Takao. Takao runs out of bounds, and Cole Richens, as he went to drill Takao, barreled into Iramia. So,
And that stuff those Hurricane kids can hit.
yes, they can. So I'm sure Jeremiah might remind Cole they're on the same team and regroup from there. You kind of see it on the replay. Well, unfortunately, folks at home can't. But
well, and Takao was wise to get out of bounds on that one.
yeah, 3rd and 20. Takao rolling right, pressure. He's hit as he throws, and it's caught, and it's going to be a first down. No, they mark him shy. Boy, I thought he had it on forward progress, but he took a couple steps backward.
That was a good spot for the Hurricane Tigers.
And on 4th down and 2, they're going to go for it. This is surprising.
It's very surprising. Only 2.5 minutes. There's still 2.5 minutes left to go. There's a lot of time.
Yep.
Does it seem like he's just trying to draw him off sides?
It could very well be. Safita is showing blitz. Now he backs off, and I think they're just going to let the clock run down here.
Wise move by the Dixie Flyer coaching staff.
At their own 35.
Yeah, I'm calling the timeout right there.
I think they're going to play the field position game. So let's take a quick timeout. 2:09 left here in the first half.
We love purchase business in our office. This is, in our branch, this is what we strive to do, is we want to be number one in purchases. And we recognize that realtors, builders, affinity partners, they play a large role and a key role in making us successful. So we strive to do everything we can to be able to deliver on our promises, to create events or opportunities to be able to just stay in front of them and to get to know them and just be a part of their business. We treat it as a true partnership.
.209 left here in the first half. 14-3 Flyers, and the Flyers now looking to punt. So Hurricane won't have a lot of time, but they might have some decent field position. We'll have to see how this plays out. High, slow developing snap. Punt is high.
Fair catch.
Fair catch signaled at the 30, and great job by Elison to adjust and make that catch. That could have been a disaster.
Well, and again, the Dixie coverage man was down there and kind of in his zone of Elison. Except it seems
2:02 left. Hurricane with the ball. Parker back to pass, throws the slant, a little high. Elison catches it, and a flag comes in. Boy, ugh. I think that's going to be a personal foul, but I thought that was a pretty clean hit.
I'd have to look at the replay to see if we can see if it's a helmet-to-helmet type situation.
I thought it was just a good hit, but it's
stretched.
tough on those slants because you're a target.
Oh, and he was stretched out, his arms, both of them way high above his head.
Waiting to see the official signal here.
Dixie's moving.
Helmet to helmet is the call. Boy, that's a tough one. Wish we could bring you that replay. I'm going to look up here on the scoreboard and see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boy, I think that was a bad call.
I don't know. That's a tough break for the Dixie Flyers.
And in fairness to the refs, when things are happening in fast motion, you can't always get them 100% right. Parker back to pass, got a man. It's caught inside the 20.
Fantastic catch.
Elison again. That's his third catch he has made that has really been terrific.
Fantastic protection by the offensive line. Parker had plenty of time to throw. The play developed a little slow in developing, and boy, what a great play.
But not a lot of time elapsing. Still 1:43 left on the clock here, so. First and 10, ball's at the 15. Handoff to McDaniel, hit in the backfield and a flag, and there's another false start.
Oh.
Wow.
Those kinds of things are enough to drive you crazy.
They're just little discipline things, and it's tough. I mean, as a coach, I don't know, other than yelling, think.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you can do.
I don't know either.
As Coach Gardner, who up until this year was a assistant on the Tiger squad, said, whenever I would ask him a question, he's like, they're teenage boys. I don't know. You never know what's going through their head at any given time. Handoff to the up man. It's Jake Carr, and he surges up to near the 16-yard line. So second down, and it looks like about 11. Tigers taking their time, too.
Yep, 53 seconds left.
They do have 2 timeouts left, though, so that also is something to take into consideration.
I'm a little surprised they haven't called one yet.
And handoff, it's Carr again, the up man, down to the 11-yard line. I think they're going to take one here. Timeout. Hurricane. So we'll keep it here. 32 seconds left, 14-3, Dixie lead. Hurricane's shown they're not afraid of running the ball, but now you're down to 1 timeout. You got to be a little smart with your play calling.
In case you want to kick the field goal, this is one of those situations where I think you'd rather get 3 than 0.
And Brad, here's an interesting question. From a guy you played high school football, you played D1 college football. How many plays do coaches have in their back pocket they don't use the whole year, and they think, last game, let's see what happens?
There's always 2 or 3 just funny little things that you practice, and it's kind of the end of practice, and it's like a little trick play. And it's like,
sure.
Hey, let's throw this out, and so your offenses run it, and you run it every week.
Sure.
A couple of times, but again, a situation like this, it would be a really good idea to pull something out of your back pocket.
Yeah. What else are you going to save it for? It's the last game of the year, and you're playing for a title.
Exactly.
So 3rd and 6 is our situation here. Ball on the Dixie 11-yard line. I'm sure Hurricane would much rather put 6 on the board than 3, so we'll see how things develop. Parker back to pass. Throws it on a little adjustment. Oh, very nearly intercepted.
Yeah, a little pressure on by the defensive line on that one.
I think you can see Parker and Elison kind of discussing things, and I think Parker thought there was going to be more of an adjustment. Yeah. I'm not sure if Elison ran the wrong route or if he was supposed to break, but one way or the other, a little.
Well, and Parker was on his back foot as he threw that too. He was not. He was kind of running a little bit for his life. Looks like the kickers come on.
Yep, about a 28-yard field goal. So another one that's you would think is.
This is makeable.
Yeah, very makeable. Not horribly difficult.
Right down the middle of the field like you like it.
Yep. Can't line it up better than that, can you? Stanworth with the kick. It is up. It is good. So 14-6 is the score. Do a drop down. .24 seconds left. So Dixie, I'm guessing, probably just going to take a knee here unless they get something ridiculous happen on the kick return.
Well, and you never know. They have a pretty good kick return team. They've got quite a few yards. Average looked like about 20 to 30 yards on their kick returns. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe looks and see where they are on the field position, but boy, they haven't not thrown a lot of interceptions, not thrown a lot of, very few sacks. So I don't know. Coach Monkers, he's kind of an old school coach. He's been around for a long time. I think he will make a lot better decision than I would as the coach.
So, coming up, we'll have our Dr. Robert Prince halftime show. We'll run down a little bit of what's happened in this game. A few things news-wise we can talk about too, and we'll talk a little bit also about the academic all-state kids as well. There'll be a little ceremony here at halftime honoring them. We'll give some additional credit to some of these great folks that have made things possible for us, bringing you this game from Rice Eccles. So here's the kick. It's taken at the 6, across the 20, across the 25, and down to about the 28. So not sure we're going to see a whole lot with 17 seconds left.
Yeah, I think 17 seconds left. You couldn't blame them for taking a knee. Just go in at halftime with that 14-6 lead.
So Dixie offense on the field. Crowd a little quieter here in the second quarter than they were in that beginning of the game. Cow turns the corner. He gets popped pretty good.
Long 12 yards, looks like, on the carry.
Yep, first down. Cole Richens on the tackle. 11 seconds left. And now Dixie's going to take a timeout. So apparently they felt pretty good about that play.
That's an interesting
I mean, 11 seconds and 61 yards is...
interesting development. Do you just toss it up and see what happens? With the receivers, the way the protection's been with Dixie.
Yeah, we saw that one play that was broken for the first touchdown.
Yeah.
I guess you can drop back and see what develops, and if there's nothing there, let him run and
or
kill
throw
the
it out
clock.
of bounds.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of options.
Sure. And if you're Dixie at this point, maybe they just figure, why not? We've got the lead. But then you also, how many times have we seen a play like this where you throw it over the middle, gets intercepted, and yeah, exactly.
All those things to consider. I think that's probably the reason why they called that timeout.
So the Tiger defense back on the field, and it looks like we're ready to get things rolling here.
Safety's pretty deep. Looks like he's about 15, 20 yards off.
Cow throws it, little out play to the 49. So only run 4 seconds left, or 4 seconds off, still 7 seconds left. This is something you could, maybe if you can get that one again, pick up another 7-8 yards.
Get you down and then throw to the end zone.
Yeah, just throw a heaver. That end zone in particular, I remember a play Juan Diego threw down in that end zone.
I remember one
a lot
of those
us
as
remember
well.
that, don't we? And it is that end zone, so. Out of the gun to Cow. Now a flag comes in. False start. What feels like the 50th false start call of the first half.
Absolutely.
But sure, it's not quite that dramatic, but.
You think earlier in the game, little nerves.
Yeah.
As you're almost hitting first half, that should be gone. The butterflies are going. Get out there and get a couple of hits. Get the butterflies out of your stomach.
But, and it's also, and I don't know how much of a factor this is, they're playing at a time of day they haven't played in all year.
That is true. And, and I'm kind of a believer. If you can practice and play at the same time, that seems to help you get in a rhythm. It's
tough, though, to do that when it's during school hours all week, too.
I think that would be a little tough to practice at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. Cow rolls out of the pocket, looks downfield. A couple of flags come in. I'm thinking that's probably going to be holds.
Yeah, that was a hold in the backfield.
So that should probably kill off the first half here.
I think Hurricane will probably refuse that penalty, decline it, and get us to halftime.
So officials talk things over. It is a hold. It's declined, and that will end the half. So 14-6, you know, all things considered, with all the momentum that Dixie had throughout that half, I think if you're the Tigers, you're down one score. You'll take that.
I think you would. I think you take that the whole time.
And how many games have we seen halftime adjustments make all the difference?
Absolutely. In fact, in these playoffs, we've had halftime adjustments make all the difference.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, you know, a lot of football left to be played. We've got a couple of quarters. We've seen some broken plays. We've seen some crazy things happen thus far, and who's to say that won't continue? But our score at halftime is 14-6. Coming up, the Dr. Robert Prince halftime show. We will bring that to you as we head to a halftime break here on Scalooza, KSL, and DeseretNews.com.
For you, bronze package. Triple the price, doubles the contract.
You want a big muscle?
You want a big muscle?
I make your little muscle into big muscle.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
We feel that when clients come to us, the most important thing up front is to take the stress out of a highly stressful environment, to be able to create transparency and to create a relationship of trust where they know that we're going to take care of them every step of the way. That's what's most important to us. And in the end, we've delivered on our promises.
Our game today is sponsored by Dr. Robert Prince. Dr. Prince is the orthodontist that gives your high school something to really smile about. His office is located at 754 South Main Street in St. George. Call Dr. Prince for a free consultation and find out how easy and affordable it is to straighten your smile.
Dixie. Clayton of Hurricane. Grayson Shimmo of Hurricane. Tyson Patrick Yardley of Hurricane. Jake Peterson of Pondview. James Torkelson of Snowcap.
I said we're doing really good on the commercials.
of Stanford. And Peyton Bunderson of Utah. These young men were selected to this team on the basis of their athletic ability and academic proficiency. The combined grade point average of this team is 3.0. Will you join the UHSAA game? And Vanessa News in honoring these young men with a warm round of applause. Congratulations. Our halftime entertainment continues as Hurricane High School is pleased to present for your halftime entertainment. Hurricane High School cheerleaders.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Back with you here at halftime from Rice-Eccles Stadium. Our score is 14-6. The Dixie Flyers with the lead over the Hurricane Tigers. A couple of impressive drives by Dixie to get their two touchdowns, and their offense really in about midway through the first quarter and into the second looked pretty solid.
They did. I don't think we saw anything unexpected. Dixie, a little mix of the run and the throw. A little bit more, I guess maybe a little bit more running than I would have expected, but that wide open running. Hurricane, same thing, a little bit more passing maybe, but good solid play by both teams. Score of 14-6. Both of them have each of them scored.
Dixie.
Twice.
You mentioned Dixie has run the ball well, but what's been interesting is Miller really hasn't been much of a factor. It's been Takao on the keepers that's really been the effective part of their running game.
Yeah, it has. And, and again, he's just so impressive. Watching Ammon, he reads that for literally, 4 or 5 steps before he decides whether he's going to give the ball or keep it.
Yeah. You're right. And it's been interesting. They've been able to run and throw the ball pretty well. Hurricanes had their moments, had their chances to really put more points on the board.
Yeah, a little shooting themselves in the foot as they get down a little closer.
Sure.
Chance to score a touchdown and had to settle for a field goal.
They had the 1st and goal at the 2.
Yep.
And then wound up getting moved back with penalties.
Had the ball where we, on the little muff punt, didn't get a real good, as good a result out of that one as we wanted either.
Sure. So thanks to Dr. Robert Prince, who is our sponsor for our halftime show. And of course, it's at this point in the game where we have to kind of ask ourselves, 2 things that we always ask ourselves. What is the Durham, Pinniger, and Jones play of the game and the Academy Mortgage player of the game? So it's halftime. We can kind of look at the first half and say, so far, what's it been? And I'm curious on your thoughts. Let's first talk about what's the play of the game in that first half. Play of the half, I guess you'd say.
I would think it's probably there was I don't remember the long play that Dixie threw a long pass, almost broke for the touchdown.
Sure.
That's where I would lean to on that one. Player of the game right now, I'd have to go with Takao. He's controlling the ball. He's moving the ball well. He's not making mistakes. That's if I had to go with it right now, that's where I would go.
Player of the game, yeah, I think you make a great case with Takao. I think he's got to be the favorite thus far. Play of the game, it's funny because sometimes you look at those bigger plays, you look at the Schweitzer touchdown, that pass in the flat on the broken play, and he broke a tackle and got into the end zone. The touchdown catch by Harrison, a great catch in the end zone as well. But, sometimes we forget those sneaky little things. The thing that set up the first score was the blocked punt.
Oh, that's true.
And sometimes we forget those little plays, and I think that's one to really kind of keep in the back of our mind. That blocked punt changed momentum because it looked like Hurricane was going to pin Dixie deep and put them in a hole where maybe they'd have a little bit of a momentum and a field position advantage.
That's true. And the special teams, it's so easily forgotten, but it is definitely a third of the game.
Yeah. Oh, it really is. So when we came back from commercial, you probably saw some kids standing down on the field. Hopefully our field mic picked that up a little bit. But what we were looking at was our academic all-state teams. At least the 3AA representatives from Dixie and Hurricane were down on the field. But thought we'd take a moment and kind of acknowledge them. So from Dixie, Connor Aitken, Jackson Davis, and Ammon Takao, all part of that academic all-state team. From Hurricane, Coulter Clayton, Trayson Shamo, and Tyson Yardley represented. From Pineview, Jaden Peterson, part of that team. Chance Thorkelson from Snow Canyon, a great little receiver for that team. Gage Manzione from Stansbury, and also Hayden Bunderson from Uinta. So
that's pretty impressive for both Dixie and Hurricane to put 3 kids each on that academic all-state team.
Yeah, the average grade point average for that team, 3.995.
Wow.
So to be able to balance your schoolwork and all of the responsibilities and busyness that comes from being an athlete, especially at this time where you're kind of turning it up a few notches for the playoffs, a lot of credit goes out to those kids.
Well, and I know these kids, and they are taking AP statistics classes and chemistry and doing dual immersion, getting some college credit and high school credit at the same time.
Sure.
This is not easy classes these guys are taking.
Right. So definitely, shout out and props to those kids for doing great things.
Well, and on the Dixie side, I thought it was interesting that their center and their quarterback both are on that list, and that is such a wow. Sorry, I was doing something else for just a second, but 2 of the most intelligent people you have to have on your football field.
Sure.
Quarterbacks, because they have to read the defenses, they have to know where every person is, every play. But those centers,
have to make the calls at the line.
I was an offensive lineman, and it's to read defenses. And I had somebody ask me once. They said, "Was there a lot of trash talking going on when you played?" And we just literally didn't have time.
Right.
I mean, by the time I got the play called, went up, I was reading the defenses, listening to the call from the center, listening. We actually all 5 of us made a call while we were up there, so everybody knew where every other position was. But by the time that happened, boy, it's time to snap the ball, and then I got to run back and get back in the huddle. I had 0 time to talk to anybody on the other team.
Sure.
Because I had so much stuff I had to worry about on my own. But that was kind of neat to have a center and a quarterback with that good relationship that those 2 have to have with each other as well.
Yeah, no, those are great points, great insights, and again, props to those kids for, so oftentimes we hear of kids that struggle with their grades and have a hard time balancing. So a lot of times in this society, with a lot of the stuff you see on social media, you'll hear a kid that messes up and they get a lot of grief for it, but you got to give props when the kids are doing positive things as well and setting a great example for their teammates and the other kids at school. So props to them for being good academically and good leaders in our community. So
yep, they're good. They're going to have a chance to do some great things, those young men.
Sure. So we appreciate that, and also want to remind you that this is the first of 3 games here on KSL and DeseretNews.com. We've also got the 4A game between Roy and Timpview. That will definitely be an interesting one worth watching. Timpview's been in the mix for...
See if anybody can, that juggernaut of Timpview High School, see if anybody can stop that.
Can a school that's been sort of a semi-underdog like Roy, who really hasn't made a lot of noise on the playoff scene for a lot of years, but they've had a great run. So that'll be a fun game to watch. And also the Miners of Bingham, another sort of dynasty team on the 5A level, as they square off against the Caveman of American Fork, one of my favorite mascots in the state of Utah.
That's right. You know, the Roy, the last time they won a state championship, the last time they were in a state championship was 1981. You know, so they're playing against Timpview, who won last year. Bingham won last year in 5A. And American Fork, they won in 1961 and 1962 was the last time American Fork has won. But again, great teams. Boy, in that 4A, Timpview, Roy, neither one of them has lost a game yet this year.
That's going to be something, isn't it? So that'll be fun to watch. Roy's had a lot to get excited about. I know Jim McMahon's been around a little bit, so the old alum, and
that's
he had his number retired.
I'd forgotten that Jim was there.
Yep, that's right. So anyway, that is great look at a couple of games coming up later on today. Should be exciting. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll get you set for kickoff of the second half between Dixie and Hurricane. Our score 14-8 Flyers here on KSL and DeseretNews.com.
For you, bronze package. Triple the price, doubles the contract.
You want a big muscle?
You want a big muscle?
I make your little muscle into big muscle.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Now is the time to push yourself, to dream, to learn, to achieve. Moments like these come once in a lifetime. This is your opportunity. Challenge yourself, explore, create. Belong to something you can be proud of. Do it for yourself. Excel, reach, become. This is who you are. This is Snow College.
We love purchase business in our office. This is, in our branch, this is what we strive to do, is we want to be number one in purchases. And we recognize that realtors, builders, affinity partners, they play a large role and a key role in making us successful. So we strive to do everything we can to be able to deliver on our promises, to create events or opportunities to be able to just stay in front of them and to get to know them and just be a part of their business. We treat it as a true partnership.
Our game today is sponsored by Dr. Robert Prince. Dr. Prince is the orthodontist that gives your high school something to really smile about. His office is located at 754 South Main Street in St. George. Call Dr. Prince for a free consultation and find out how easy and affordable it is to straighten your smile.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Back with you here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Our halftime score 14-6. Dixie with the lead. Both teams kind of making their way back onto the field, kind of getting warmed up and ready for second half of play. And I am Travis Brunstead. Along with me is Brad Christensen, both academic and football genius. so I'm gonna pick your football genius brain here.
Oh, yeah, happy to help.
Yeah. So let's start first with Dixie. Dixie's got a 8-point lead. Done some really good things in the first half. What's the key for Dixie if they're going to come away the champ?
You know, if the coaches, they're talking to them about stopping some of those big runs from Hurricane. Mm-hmm. You know, that's one of the things that coaches will never be real positive at a halftime, especially a game this close. You know,
Sure.
They'll talk a little bit about some of the good things that are happening, but they want to make sure that the kids are still focusing and not getting complacent.
Sure.
So they'll talk about trying to stop that. They're going to talk about keeping protection with the offensive line on the Dixie side of the ball. Making good decisions, not doing the stupid penalties. You know, and that same thing could be said for Hurricane on that one. Mm-hmm. You get down, you got things going, just an offsides, you know, you false start. and it kills you.
Sure.
It messes up your momentum, makes it a little tougher for the next set of downs or for the next down. So that's what they will be talking to him about.
Okay. So from the Hurricane side, you're down 8. You know you've had a couple of situations where you coulda, woulda, shoulda put more points on the board but didn't. That can be a little bit deflating for a team, especially a team, which we forget, they have a lot of younger underclassmen playing prominent roles, the quarterback, some of the running backs. They're not used to pressure of this magnitude. They're in roles that, they're kind of somewhat used to them, but still, this is a bigger stage. So what's the key for them?
I don't think you talk to the kids about the pressure. I don't think you talk to them about the stage. I think you talk to them about just do what you always do. This is just, the football field's 100 yards long. Mm-hmm. It's the exact same. We're playing against the Dixie team we played before. We know these guys. With Hurricane, as an old offensive line coach, my boys would have been having an earful at halftime.
Yeah.
There was way too much penetration by the Dixie defensive line. They're good, Dixie, but you got to engage, you got to fire off, and that's what I've noticed. Hurricane, our pass protection is really good for the most part. A couple of little hurry up, but for the most part, Hurricane's pass protection has been fantastic. They've got to get off the ball, be aggressive on the run, engage that defensive lineman, not allow him to push you back a yard or two into the backfield. That kills Hurricane. Hurricane cannot play. Hurricane runs on angles and edges, and so, but you can't do that when somebody's standing, 6 feet in the backfield.
Sure. Yeah, and that I think has been a huge difference in this game.
Yeah, defense. You got to keep playing hard. Maybe a little tighter by the defensive backs, but for the most part, the defense has played decent. Dixie has a chance to put on, they've had the opportunity, they've done this in the past, put on a lot of points in a hurry.
Yeah. Well, and the good news if you're Hurricane too is you get to start the second half with the ball first. So
that's correct.
That will make a huge difference. But so 14-6, we'll see what adjustments have been made as we get set here for the second half. High, deep kick, and this is going to be a touchback. So the Tigers will start 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Boy, when you got a kicker that can make them start from the 20 every single time, that is a good thing, and that's what Dixie has done most of the night or most of the afternoon. Afternoon.
Yeah,
we'll get it down here in a minute.
Sun, moon, what's the difference? It's all a bunch of floating planetary solar system stuff. So, 1st and 10. Parker with the handoff. It's to Iramia. He gets up to about the 25. So good first down run. Again, if you're Hurricane, you're totally content getting 3-4 yards of play.
If they stay consistent, if they don't have a false start, if they don't, because if you can get 4 yards a pop, 3rd and 2 for Hurricane is a good place to be.
Sure. 2nd and 5. Handoff again to Iramia. He's got a little bit of a hole, and he pushes through for a first down and more as he gets across the 35 to the 36-yard line. And Jeremiah knows this is probably the last half of football he will ever play as an offensive player. So I think he's going to make the most of it.
I think that is a safe bet. But he has got a lot of guts, Jeremiah, and he does not want to lose this football game.
So 1st and 10 from the 36. Snap and a handoff. This time it is Stanworth. He's going to pick up about 3. But they were a little generous on the spot, I thought. They gave him
they gave him a little bit more
than I thought he got.
I think you are correct on that call as well.
So they'll mark him at the 39. So it'll be 2nd and 7. A little bit more of a breeze than there was early in the game. I mean, it's not much, but you can feel it a little bit.
Yeah, not bad. It won't affect, I'm looking at the flags, and there's not much movement.
They're not moving a lot, and it's probably even more dead down at the bottom of the field. And Iramia with another big run, and he is just barreling through the middle. And, you talked about it. There must have been some adjustments because they weren't getting anything up the middle, and now they're starting to plug away big chunks of yardage.
And the thing I'm watching is Dixie has, even if you just stalemate them on that offensive line, on that line of scrimmage, the defense, if they can't get in the backfield, Hurricane is going to do real well.
Sure. First and 10. And McDaniel hit in the backfield. And again, Dixie's defense getting penetration and killing the ball for a good 3-yard loss, it looks like. Make it a 4-yard loss. So the first negative yardage of the half thus far for the Tiger offense. Parker under center, and he fumbles it. And I think it was Iramia that jumped on it.
Not a good situation for Hurricane. Third and long. Not their
what you
forte.
want. No, which is unfortunate. They were really having a pretty solid drive. And then they mixed it up, and I don't know, sometimes I guess you got to go with what's working. A little pass in the flat, Stanworth, little block in the back. I don't see a flag, but
yeah, it looked like that receiver on the outside had engaged with the defensive player before, and they were still tangled up.
Okay.
But the defensive back over there on the right side for Dixie just played off that block very, very well.
So 4th down in a punting situation. As Hurricanes offense stalls out after starting pretty promisingly. Kick is going to bounce at the 15. Doesn't move much from there.
Another nice punt for Hurricane.
So, change of possession. Flyers will start deep in their own end. We'll see if the Tiger defense... You know, the one thing that we really haven't talked about, we saw the difficulty on the exchange there on that last play, but one thing we have not mentioned is turnovers.
That has been it's one of the keys for the game. Last week, both of these teams did really well on the turnover in the turnover battle.
Sure.
And I think that's especially again, back to high school football. Well, the same thing in college and pros. If you can win the turnover battle, you are going to do really well.
Yeah. Miller on the first down carry gets about a yard. So, again, Miller's really been shut down. They've done a good job limiting his end of the run game. It's been all Takao rushing the ball in terms of Dixie's success rate. 2nd and 9. Takao takes the snap. He looks, throws over the middle. It is caught. Harrison with it, and he's short of the first down, but a flag in the backfield as well. Safita, I believe, with the hit.
Great tackle.
About 2 yards shy of the first down, but we'll see what the flag is for. It was thrown later, so you wonder if it's a hold. It's kind of thrown in the backfield.
Looked like something like that. I don't think anyone hit Takao.
Oh, they're saying helmet-to-helmet hit. So that must have been one of those, it happened kind of on the offensive line type things. And
no, that's kind of odd because I believe I had helmet-to-helmet contact every single play.
It's hard not to coming out of a 3-point stance, isn't it?
That's what you do. I don't know if I've ever seen that call.
Now they're discussing it again. I don't know if that's what they're discussing or if they're discussing the spot. Or
they'll do that. I've seen that called when it's a defensive lineman hitting the offensive line, or hitting the quarterback.
Sure.
Yeah, they are walking that off.
I guess they didn't like. I don't know. Oh, they had the ball at the. They're going from the original line of scrimmage as opposed to where I think they were confused whether it was from the spot or at the end of the play. So they march it off to the 30-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Dixie.
I'd be curious to see where that was called. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, but I was also watching the ball in fairness. So, And Takao on the keeper, tries to reverse field. Here's another flag. And trying to turn the corner. We'll see what the flag's for. It's a pickup of about 6.
Tough to tackle Takao.
Say that 10 times fast. That's what I want to hear. Tough to tackle Takao. So the flag is a hold against the Flyers, so that'll negate a... And that's another one of those things, if you're Takao, you're probably not as frustrated that you lost the 7 yards that you gained on the run, but the fact is he probably ran about 25 yards to get the 7. So
and then you lose 10 on the
yeah.
on the
So he's
deal.
like, thanks. I'm out of breath now for nothing. But
so a little with the penalties, a little back and forth, ping pong. Still first down.
7:27 left here in the third quarter. Takao out of the gun, looks to pass, throws it, and didn't have anyone. Now a flag out in the flat. It was tough to tell what happened because the Dixie player, I think it was Miller, got kind of tangled up, and so I'm not sure if that was a contact incidentally or otherwise.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to call that as a pass interference.
And that would really bail them out on a... Yep, that is the call. And that really bails them out after the holding call, doesn't it?
It does. Not sure. I'll have to see that one again. Good hit on the quarterback. Not sure. I was trying to look and see if they were going to show the replay.
Yeah. So now it's 1st and 5. Much different than 1st and 20, obviously. Takao, good coverage downfield, and now another hold, and Takao is drilled. I think Safita hit him pretty hard, and it is a hold against the Flyers.
Wow. A lot of exercise with that flag hand with the officials.
You got one team in black and red, one in blue and white, but it seems like the main team on this drive has been the team in yellow.
Yeah, that's a tough deal. You got to call them when you see them. And it's still first down.
At what point is the umpire going to start getting cramping in his legs from marching these off? Back and forth and back and forth. So now we went from 1st and 20 to 1st and 5 to now 1st and 21. So go figure. Takao back to pass, looking for someone.
Looks like a screen.
It's a screen, and it's dropped. So that'll be incomplete. He had a lot of green in front of him if he's able to haul that in. He had a lot of space.
He did. As the Hurricane defensive line released, realized probably that it was going to be a screen pass as easy as they were not blocked.
Sure.
But it made Takao was backing up as he threw that ball. Didn't get very much velocity on it.
So 2nd and 21. Takao looks to throw. Throws it in the flat. Nice catch. And brought down as he was reaching out at the end of the play. Ball came out, but they're going to say he was down. So Brett Barbin, who had a very nice long reception in the first quarter, not able to get the same results out of it. I think that was the same play.
Boy, he can make those. He can make you miss.
He can. He certainly can, but Hurricane holds it to a 5-yard gain. So 3rd and 16.
Maybe time for a blitz again for Hurricane.
Yeah, and there it is, a delayed blitz. Dixie does a good job to pick it up, and Barbin is open, and he trips himself up. But they do get inside the red zone. Dixie will have a first down on another huge pass play. Takao read it beautifully, and Barbin able to beat his man over the middle.
Yeah, the defensive back, it looked like he got kind of turned around a little bit and went for that post, what we used to call a post pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Had the protection. They picked up the blitz. The running back came up and knocked Safita off a little bit.
So first down from the 15. Read option, it's to Cow, getting up across the 10 near the 9-yard line. Flyers smelling blood in the water here now all of a sudden. Hurricane, and you know, we mentioned it, we have not heard mention of it thus far, but they need a turnover desperately, I think, at this point.
Yep.
Out of the gun, Reed, it's to Cow. And a good read by Safita. Boy, we've called his name quite a bit in this ball game. He is playing his guts out, and he is brought down to Cow for a loss of about 3.
Cagey, quick. He's just got Charlie has a good sense of where the ball is.
Yeah, he does. There's a good tradition of Hurricane linebackers who don't have great size, but they have those instincts.
And toughness.
Yes. I could name off a few of them, and maybe I will here in a minute, but big 3rd down play here to Cow back to pass.
All day long.
And it's caught, but no, it is dropped. Big hit by Stanworth to knock the ball out of the hands on what looked to initially be a reception. So we're going to get a look at Dixie's first attempt at a field goal here. Line of scrimmage is the 12, so that makes it about a 29-yarder.
You know, the Hurricane and Dixie both, they don't have specialists for their kickers. This is kids who play other positions, play offense and defense both.
Yeah, Hurricane was pretty spoiled. They had a couple of kickers there who were specialists, very good kickers. And that field goal attempt is good. So with 4:43 left, the Flyers up 17-6. We'll take a break here on Deseret News and KSL.com.
For you, bronze package. Triple the price, doubles the contract.
You want a big muscle?
You want a big muscle?
I make your little muscle into big muscle.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
We love purchase business in our office. This is, in our branch, this is what we strive to do, is we want to be number one in purchases. And we recognize that realtors, builders, affinity partners, they play a large role and a key role in making us successful. So we strive to do everything we can to be able to deliver on our promises, to create events or opportunities to be able to just stay in front of them and to get to know them and just be a part of their business. We treat it as a true partnership.
Back with you at 17-6. The Dixie Flyers, after a 29-yard field goal, extend their lead to 11. So now a 2-score game.
Still time on the clock.
Yep, absolutely.
Boy, back to starting at the 20-yard line for the Tigers.
Boy, that you got to wonder, because the kickoffs were not going quite that way in the first half. Maybe that slight breeze has helped a little. You can see the flags moving a little bit more now. So glad to be with you here from Rice Eccles.
It is a beautiful day.
It certainly is. First and 10 for the Tigers, who need to do something here. They got to get some things going on offense. Nice little pass, about a 5-yard gain out to the 25.
Yeah, it looks like
Kyle Williams on the catch.
Hurricane keeps running those little underneath routes.
Mm-hmm.
Almost gives you a chance, maybe a little hitch and go.
Yep, I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah.
As much as Dixie's playing up on the line of scrimmage, they're just crowding. You don't see anybody. There's nobody back 6 yards is the farthest back anybody from Dixie is.
Yeah. The other thing, too, we haven't seen is any passing over the middle for Hurricane. Everything's been on the outside. Little quarterback sneak by Parker.
And I'm not sure if that wasn't a miscue.
Yeah.
I think that might have been the center snapping the ball a little quicker.
It was kind of awkward, wasn't it? Nonetheless, they still pick up about 3, so it'll be 3rd and maybe 1.5 yards. As Iramia is on the sideline, Jake Carr in. Trying to give Jeremiah a little blow, I'm assuming. Here's Carr trying to go over the left-hand side, and he didn't get it. He looks to be maybe half yard shy.
Boy, had those legs churning, but
and now, Hurricanes offense is staying on the field. This could really change things. If they go for this and don't get it on their own 30, that puts Dixie in sitting pretty.
Gutsy.
This might be our play of the game right here.
Coach Pearson, welcome to championship football.
Yeah, no kidding. Parker under center.
Maybe just trying to get him going.
Yep. Here's the handoff, and Iramia comes in, and he picks up the first down. About a 3-yard run up to the 32, and they needed that.
Wow.
That was pressure.
That was gutsy. That was a great call. Not a lot of yards, but a huge momentum swing, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that you
keep that drive going.
It keeps the drive going, but it also tells your kids, I have confidence you can do
right.
it. So
happy to not see the penalties going on right now.
Yeah. Pass in the flat, it's Iramia, and he's got some space up to the 50 into Flyer territory. No, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 47, but he'll still have the first down near midfield.
Good decision by the receiver. Almost had that the back of the corner there, just about hit him and held up. Gave Jeremiah the opportunity to get around that corner.
Sure. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Their own 47. Handoff again, it's Iramia across the 50, churning ahead up to the 48 of Dixie.
Jeremiah is very excited to be going to BYU this next year. Talked to him about it over at the school the other day. I was over doing some things, and I said, hey, congratulations on your decision. He said, band of brothers.
Well, I'll have one game a year. I won't root for him. But. Pitch out on the flat. It's McDaniel, and kind of got tripped up at the end, but I think he might have got enough for the first down.
I think he got the first down. Great block on the outside by the receiver. That was fantastic. Oh, maybe we jumped the gun.
I've done that before. I'll be honest with you.
You're going to bring the chains out.
Yeah, Takao with a great day so far. 9 carries for 48 yards. Passing game, he's 15 for 21 for 192 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
So Takao really doing well.
That is a big day.
Well, Josh Parker, I'd be curious to see if they open it up to him. He's actually done, statistically, he's 10 of 12 for 112 yards.
I think he's got a good arm.
He does.
It looks to me like Hurricane didn't get that. They're bringing the chains out and setting the ball.
So it's 3rd and inches, it looks like. Minute 43 left, 3rd quarter.
I think 2-down territory for Hurricane, though, for sure.
And surge up the middle. This is going to depend on the spot. Dixie fans are cheering, but they have to realize it's forward progress that matters.
And I've got the line judge coming in from the near side.
He looks like he's past it.
He's not on the same line that he came running in on, though.
No.
Yeah,
looks like they're going to measure again. Up in the drama. Again, glad to have you with us here on KSL and DeseretNews.com, as well as Scaluzza.com. Measuring again. And you don't see a first down signal there.
Nope.
It's going to be 4th and inches.
This could be the play of the day.
We said that last time this happened, didn't we?
I'm watching this one for sure, though.
Yeah.
I'll call it the series of the day.
You're going to stick around?
I think I'll stick around till the end of this game. Love good high school football.
Oh, yeah. So big play here. Dixie not able to stop them on their last 4th down opportunity. So the Tigers, for their 2nd consecutive sequence here.
Boy, you can hear the crowd.
On both sides. Parker going with the hard count. Didn't get anybody to jump. Here's the snap. Here's the carry. Iramia's got it and more. Across the 40. He's going to be stopped there as forward progress is going to take him down to the 39. So first down, Hurricane.
Hurricane player on the field. Somebody's down.
Yep.
Getting up a little slow. Helped by his buddies.
It is 59.
That's
the player that we do not know.
Left tackle.
We do not have that number on the program, so I'm not sure if somebody switched numbers or what. So
that was a big play.
It was.
Great run.
So 1st and 10 for Hurricane at the Dixie 39. Here's a handoff. It's McDaniel, and boy, they keep going to the well on that play, and every time they've run it, it seems like they've lost 3, 4, 5 yards.
Boy, and that was Jeff Martinez, the nose guard for Dixie Flyers in the backfield. He was 3 yards in the backfield and waiting for the handoff.
So my question is,
why keep running the play?
Well, that's question number one, obviously, but the other is, how much of that is Dixie's defensive line? How much is that? Could Nick McDaniel be slowed up a little bit still from that ankle?
Could be, but I think this play, Martinez, he just beat the block.
Sure. So this should be our last play of the 3rd quarter, I'm thinking. Parker on the slant, a little bit of a high throw, but a great catch by Elison again.
I'm really impressed with him today.
He's got to be in there for player of the game, too, if Hurricane can pull this out. But,
yeah, I think so.
I think Takal is your favorite, but Elison on the Hurricane side, he's been...
Boy, he's had a couple of really, really great catches.
So that's the end of the 3rd quarter. Our score, it's the Dixie Flyers 17, the Hurricane Tigers 6. We will take a break and head back for the 4th quarter here on KSL and DeseretNews.com.
For you, bronze package. Triple the price, doubles the contract.
You want a big muscle?
You want a big muscle?
I make your little muscle into big muscle.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Now is the time to push yourself, to dream, to learn, to achieve. Moments like these come once in a lifetime. This is your opportunity. Challenge yourself, explore, create, belong to something you can be proud of. Do it for yourself. Excel, reach, become. This is who you are. This is Snow College.
We feel that when clients come to us, the most important thing up front is to take the stress out of a highly stressful environment, to be able to create transparency and to create a relationship of trust where they know that we're going to take care of them every step of the way. That's what's most important to us. And in the end, we've delivered on our promises.
Back with you. 17-6 as we head into quarter number 4 of our ball game.
This is a time, there are a lot more Hurricane kids that go both ways than there are Dixie kids. So, we'll see what the fitness level of the Hurricane Tigers is.
Sure. Play action. Parker rolls out. He throws it deep. He's got a man in the open to the 15, the 10, the 5. Kyle Williams is knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line, so it'll be 1st and goal for the Tigers.
Little play action pass, frees the linebackers, and Kyle Williams was wide open.
Yeah, he was. Boy, that ball has another 2 or 3 yards of distance on it, and he's gone.
He didn't have to wait for it.
He did have to adjust to catch up to it.
Boy, that was amazing.
Sure. It's always tough to put that little extra mustard on the ball when you're throwing it on the run.
That is true, especially going to your left.
Yes. The important thing is that you got it to your man. So 1st and goal Tigers. Parker to Iramia. Iramia's hit at the 5 and taken down. Boy, Dixie's defense here in the red zone has really showed their muscle.
This is when offensive line has to just dig down and deep. You cannot allow penetration at this point. I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record, but that's such an important part of the game.
So 2nd and goal from the 5. Parker under center, Iramia, the lone man in the backfield. Handoff is to Iramia. He gets in the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers! The BYU commit runs it in from 5 yards out, and the Tigers have their first touchdown of the ball game. Woo! Things heating up in the 4th, Brad.
Beautiful. This is an interesting thing. They had Martinez was actually playing the right defensive end on this play, and Hurricane ran right up the middle where he's been stuffing it all day long. Ran right up and scored. Boy, nobody was going to tackle Jeremiah at that point.
They're going for two. They want to make this a field goal game. McDaniel goes in motion. Parker takes the snap. He rolls to the right. He's got Iramia, and it's overthrown. He just threw it a little bit too high and outside. Had his man, and boy, he's got to be kicking himself for that one.
Yeah, you can't blame the coaches for that decision, though. You know, a 5-point game.
Oh, I thought it was a good call.
It was a really good call, but just overthrew him just a little bit. Looked like Jeremiah had the opening. If he'd gotten the ball, I think he'd have scored.
You know, and I'll tell you the other thing, and when Josh watches this back on film, I think the thing that he might kick himself for is if he pump fakes and the defense bites, he could have run that in too.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. He doesn't seem like a run first kind of a kid yet. That's something that'll come with some maturity.
Right, and like we say, if you missed it in the pregame when we were talking about it, his first live varsity experience was in the first round of the playoffs.
Yep.
He came in and up through the entire regular season. The only football he played was a mop-up second half of a JV game. That's a huge difference than being on the stage he's on right now.
Yep. Number 30, your quarterback, number 30.
Yes, Mike. I believe Mike said last week he may be the only number 30 quarterback in the nation that's playing for a state championship.
Probably since back in the day where they started assigning the numbers to specific players.
Well, we were talking about when's the last time you saw a number like that, and the only one I could think of was back in the day at Boston College when Doug Flutie wore number 22 at quarterback.
That's right.
And that's the last one that I could think of. But yeah, you're so used to seeing numbers, single digits
or
teens. Yeah. So.
Boy, we've got ourselves a ball game.
We do. It's the complexion has changed. And now you got to wonder, so Dixie's offense, they've been off the field a little bit. Sometimes that can put you out of your rhythm. So we'll see if Takao can come back strong. He has the whole game, so a big few minutes coming up for the Hurricane Tiger defense and this Dixie offense. Here's the kick, going to be a little short, taken at the 5, across the 10, across the 20, and down to the 26. Trent Miller on the return. Miller, of course, as we mentioned last week, a big 98-yard touchdown run in the snow against Pineview, and that was the play that really, I think, made the difference in the game.
That was, impressed with this Dixie Flyer team second half of the season.
You have to be. They've been hot and tough to beat. Pass in the flat is caught. It's a little bit high, stumbling, but able to great stiff arm to get out to the 35. So it'll be 2nd and a yard. You don't see a lot of great stiff arms anymore.
Not much anymore.
That was pretty impressive.
Got himself another about 3 yards out of that one.
Yeah, it did. So make it 2nd and 2 for the Flyers. Low snap to Cow, keeps it, spins and somehow stays on his feet, has a lot of room, but he's tripped up, gets into Tiger territory, but what a terrific play by Ammon to Cow.
Great run by Ammon to Cow.
Looked like he should have gone down. Little contact right off the bat and not able to make the tackle. It was Tyson Yardley that got a hand on him, but able to break the tackle, stay on his feet, and pick up a huge chunk of extra yardage.
Well, and I'll tell you what, if they score, that might be my play of the game.
Yeah. They keep piling up here, don't they?
Yeah, that was a great run.
To Cow, back to pass. Looking deep, throws deep, and great adjustment, nearly picked off. Noah Elison had a hand on it, not able to, the first pass he wasn't able to haul in all day, but.
That was a fantastic defense, though.
Really was.
Read the ball, knew where the offensive player was.
Still 10:29 left. A lot of football here left in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Flyers. To Cow out of the gun. Delayed handoff to Miller, and a great play by Shamo.
Yeah, broken up. The blitz came in. That was a beautiful play by the Hurricane Tigers.
So interesting. Now you've got 3rd down and about 14, but this is a down and distance where the Tiger defense has given up some big plays. They've been pretty stern for a lot of this game, but they've given up some big plays on these long down and distances.
It's going to be, if they can put a little bit of pressure, defensive backs play good coverage. But I think the pressure is going to be key. Looks like a possible blitz off the right side.
They're showing blitz. And flags come in before the snap. This is where we've seen false starts or illegal motion, perhaps.
That's a timeout.
Oh, a timeout. Okay. Well, let's take a quick timeout on our end as well. 17-12 is our score.
For you, bronze package. Triple the price, doubles the contract.
You want a big muscle?
You want a big muscle?
I make your little muscle into big muscle.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Back with you, 9:46 remaining in our game. Our score 17-12. Tigers coming up with a touchdown on their last drive, unable to convert on the 2-point conversion. And now a big 3rd and long play for Dixie. Got about 14 to go.
Yeah, I think Dixie, Dixie coaching staff wanted to talk this one over.
Don't blame them.
This is a big play.
It certainly is.
Almost as big a play as that run by Ammon to Cow just on this drive.
Another one of our litany of possible plays of the game coming up here. Two receivers wide left, one wide to the right. Miller in the backfield with Takao. Surveys the defense. Harrison goes in motion. Takao back to pass. He's blitzed. He's got a lot of pressure. Throws it over the middle and picked off by the Tigers. What a huge play. Nick McDaniel with the pick.
Like I said earlier, you get a little bit of pressure on a quarterback, even a quarterback as good as Ammon Takao. And he throws it up a little bit. I know he's probably thinking, hey, whatever, we'll just punt and get it out. But
sure.
Oh, that's a great opportunity for Hurricane.
Now we've got a Flyer player down. We'll have to see if we can't see who that is. But yeah, we talked about it. There hadn't been a turnover in the game until that point, and it was the pressure on Takao causing him to roll out of the pocket. And
the first guy didn't get him. The second guy didn't get him, but it got him moving his feet a little bit.
And here's the difference, and this is why you talk about experience, even on the high school level. Even though Takao has started a lot of football games, the difference is if Takao runs and throws it out of bounds, it's 4th down, you can punt, get great field position.
Make sure they have a long ways to go. Hurricane has to go a long ways to score.
Now Hurricane's near midfield with prime real estate in front of them.
And the Hurricane offense operates really well about midfield.
They do. So the drama builds. The only thing that, and I know Hurricane people don't want to hear this, should the Tigers score and Dixie gets the ball back, they are driving towards the south end zone. Now, hopefully for Hurricane fans, the curse was broken last week when Desert Hills was driving to the south end zone.
The curse was broken when we won our state championship in 2011.
Pitch to McDaniel, who had the pick, and now a flag in the backfield. McDaniel brought down at the 50. But I think we're going to have an illegal block on the Tigers.
I think we are either that or a hold.
Yep, hold. Well, that's what I meant. A hold is an illegal block.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
So the Tigers are going to get moved back, and that's going to hurt some of their momentum here. So ball is going to be brought all the way back to the 35. That's a tough one because it's a spot of the foul.
That is a big penalty. That's a 12-yard penalty. The Dixie Flyer, boy, they ran a blitz. It looked like the corner blitzed and just blew up that play in the backfield before it had a chance to even get going. Nobody was assigned to block him.
Yeah, but McDaniel actually had picked up about 3 yards still with that. So tough. 1st and 22. Dixie fans making some noise. Play action. Parker looking downfield and fighting for the ball, and now a Dixie pick. Oh, boy.
That's a heartbreaker.
And now we've got both players kind of down. McDaniel able to get up. And not sure who the injured Dixie player. That's Harrison, the backup quarterback.
That's tough for Dixie.
It is, but now Dixie gets the ball right back in very good field position. You hear the Tiger fans booing, but from our side of the field, that was a pick.
Yeah, that did not look like. I mean, the defensive back turned around, was looking at the ball, and he has as much right to the ball as the offensive player does.
Yep, I don't think there was anything dirty about that. But that's what you get when it goes against your team. You're always grumpy. Put a grumpy cat meme together for that one, I guess.
Yep.
So Takao on 1st down. Handoff to Miller. We said he hadn't done anything. He just did. The turnover leads to a huge 57-yard touchdown for the Flyers. How quickly momentum changes. Touchdown, Dixie.
Boy, he has got speed.
A lot of it. And he had a hole the size of Montana to run through on there, too. Wow. Huge turn of events as the Flyers now extend their lead back to 11 and pending the extra point. Nonetheless, it's going to be a 2-score game, and that's tough with 8:52 left.
Timeout by the
Timeout Dixie. So they've only got 1 left. We'll see if that comes into play as well. But
see, and I'm not sure if they were running in they had a little confusion on the personnel, maybe with the injury.
Could be. So timeout on the field. 23-12, and boy, the momentum.
That's a possible backbreaker with the way Hurricane plays, but we've seen some crazy things this postseason.
Yes, and we've seen that Josh Parker is capable of getting big chunks of yardage in the passing game.
You know, and Hurricane can run. You know, we can break a big play as well.
Sure.
You know, you get one of those, and all of a sudden you're back in it.
Yeah. So extra point attempt coming up here for the Dixie Flyers to extend their lead to 12. As we told you in the beginning, folks, if you looked at the score of the first game between those two, that doesn't tell anywhere near the story.
Oh, that was a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? A 20-point win by the Tigers in the regular season, but that was on the Tigers' home field. Backup quarterback, all factors. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break here. 24-12 our score on KSL and DeseretNews.com.
Say no to gym intimidation. Say yes to Planet Fitness. We're not a gym, we're Planet Fitness.
Your locally owned and operated Planet Fitness is a proud sponsor of our amazing high school athletic programs.
Back with you, 8:52 remaining here in the fourth quarter, 24-12. The Dixie Flyers with a pretty decisive 2-score lead at this point.
This is the moment for Hurricane to show what they're made of.
Yep, they're going to have to. They're running out of time and a touchback, so they'll start from their own 20. Yeah, you need 2 scores. You got less than 9 minutes left, and in the middle of that, you've got to stop a high-powered Dixie offense.
Yep, you know the Hurricane return guys were trying to stay on the inbound so they could catch it and try to run it back.
Yeah. Yep, they wanted a little bit better field position, but Dixie's special team's done a great job at pinning the Tigers at the 20 throughout this half. So trading turnovers, and it's been a flippity-floppity game here. Back to pass. Short pass is complete to Elison. He's going to pick up about 4. Noah Elison with a very valiant performance today.
He's played very well, both sides of the ball.
Yep, certainly has. Not to mention he's been the punter.
Yeah.
He did have one block though. That was you can't really say that was his fault. So 2nd and 7, little pass in the flat, incomplete. And boy, that's Drake Hermanson, the intended receiver.
It looked like he had his eyes downfield trying to see where he was going to go with that one.
Yeah, I kind of wondered because sometimes you do see the flag thrown for the hitting a defenseless receiver thing, but you know, kind of close, but I do like that other than the little motion stuff that they're largely letting the kids play a little bit too.
Yeah, we had a little few minutes that flag.
Yeah. Parker back to pass. He's got pressure and he gets creamed. Are they going to say that's a fumble? They do say it's a fumble. Oh my goodness. Dixie may have just taken control, and
that was a tough play. Maybe Parker held on to the ball just a little too long.
Yeah, he did, and you know, I mean, in fairness, he knew it was 3rd down, and he was trying to. He knows his team's down by 2 scores, running out of time,
trying to make a play.
Just hard to see. Even looking at the replay here on the big screen, kind of hard to tell when the ball came out, but
it looked like as he got hit, it was coming out.
Sure. So 1st down carry down to the 10-yard line. 2nd down and 7. And if you're Dixie, Dixie likes to go no huddle, but I'm sure they're going to try to start running a little more clock here too.
That's what it feels like.
Here's the snap to Cow on the keeper, left-hand side, and Hurricanes defense did a good job to read it. Takao took a pretty big shot. Slow getting up gingerly to say the least. He is limping significantly.
Yeah, you don't want to see a kid get hurt, but boy, he made the first guy miss, and then 2 Hurricane guys hit him hard.
Sure. So now, I mean, if you're Dixie, this also potentially changes some of your play calling. Do you want Ammon Takao running when he's obviously got a leg that's smarting? I think maybe we're going to see, you got 3 receivers wide to the right. I wonder if they're going to run a bubble screen out to the right here. A conservative pass.
That's been successful for them.
And pass is complete and held shy of the goal line, but they're going to pick up a first down. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 1. And the clock is stopped. I didn't think he got out of bounds, though.
I don't think so. That was Jaden Harrison, too, you know, the quarterback from the earlier game, but solid athlete.
So 1st and goal from the 1. Takao sends Harrison in motion. Harrison does the motion play where he runs up under center and takes the snap. Harrison is a really good runner.
Yeah.
He ran really well in that first game.
Didn't get very much yardage, though, on that one.
No, he didn't, which is saying something when you're at the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harrison had 131 yards rushing in their first matchup.
But that looked like Quando Iramia who stuffed that one.
Sure.
Okay, now they've brought in Martinez at left guard, the nose tackle.
Mm-hmm. Here's the handoff. It's Miller, and he's going to get stuffed as well. So Hurricane valiantly fighting to keep them out of the end zone, and now a little scuffle breaking out. Boy, and a couple of takedowns,
scuffle.
And there's a whole bunch of flags. Martinez, one of the guys in there, and I kind of looked like he threw maybe Tyson Yardley to the ground. So this will be interesting. Is this just going to be...
They're going to do an offsetting penalty and just...
It's hard to say because from up here we couldn't...
No,
it kind of started late in the play. I wasn't even looking in the pile until I saw some shoving going on. And hopefully there's no ejections that come out of this. I mean, obviously if they're deserved, they're deserved.
Yeah.
But you don't want to see...
Well, it looked like a little extracurricular. It kind of slowed down, then all of a sudden it escalated.
Mm-hmm. And that's when I saw, like I say, it looked like Martinez maybe threw Yardley down.
Little size difference on that one.
You think?
I think Martinez is about 220. Maybe a little heavier than that. Yeah, the officials are still trying to sort this one out. You hate to see, a tough, hard-nosed, hard-fought game turn into a scuffle.
Whoa. So, we have an ejection for Hurricane. I thought he said number 15.
I think that's what he said.
That's Lance Mandriguez, if that is in fact who it. Interesting.
So does that put it first? I think that's
well, they said the first goal, it was half the distance, but then the second goal is 15 yards back. So obviously Hurricane comes out of that with the advantage from a yardage standpoint. I thought if it was offsetting, they'd replay the down, but maybe because it was personal fouls, that was a difference.
Well, and I'm surprised that since they marked the first one off, they didn't give them first down and then move them back.
Well, it was a goal-to-go situation, though.
Yeah, but on a personal foul, do you get an automatic
well,
first down?
Usually it's offsetting and you replay the
Third down from the same spot.
So,
but when they marked that one on Hurricane first, I thought maybe they would do a automatic first down on that one and then move Hurricane back.
Huh.
Yeah, we've got a timeout as we're trying to sort this out.
Appreciate all of our terrific sponsors who've been on board with us today. They've definitely made all this possible. We hope that throughout this broadcast, you've noticed, kind of there in our right-hand corner of our scoreboard, some of our great sponsors, our drop-down menus, and obviously we've run some advertisements for them. But it's these local businesses that have made us able to bring you this broadcast, and we hope that you'll support them. They're fantastic, and part of the reason that they're in partnership with us is because we use them and we believe in them. We're not just saying that because they're sponsors. We have relationships with them, and these are good, hard-working people. So
support the community, support the kids, and, and we're so thankful for them.
We certainly are, for sure. So third down here, 5:33 left on the clock. Out of the gun and back to pass is Takao. Takao looks, throws. It is dropped. So now with the ball at the 15, this would be about a 32-yard field goal, I believe. So that's makeable. The good news if you're Hurricane is if they make the field goal, it's still a two-score game.
It is.
So you'd have to get a two-point conversion if it got to that point. But
I think still, definitely Dixie would want to kick this one. That gives you an opportunity to go up by 15.
Sure. So 32-yard attempt here for Dixie. Snap, hold, and kick are all good.
Boy, he'd have made that at 50.
That was a great kick.
That was a great kick.
So 27-12. Wow.
So 5 minutes, 21 seconds left.
Yeah, the momentum swings have been pretty severe here in this quarter, haven't they?
They have. Big plays for both teams.
And this has been, some of these high school games, they last a couple hours, but this game's taking its share of time. Of course, that's a lot of times with Hurricane. You see a lot of running plays.
So the games seem to go a little
quicker.
So
they do go quicker.
Dixie throws a little more, but I think also, there's the television timeouts. That slows you down a little bit. Halftime takes a little bit longer because both of the groups, you have the Tigerettes and the Jetettes both want to get out and perform, and then they have the ceremony with the academic all-state kids.
Sure. So Hurricane to get the ball once again. High kick and a sail into the end zone and another touchback. As Bingham and American Fork patiently wait their chance to get on the field. That should be a good matchup between the Miners and the Cavemen. Kind of macho names.
Yeah.
a lot of testosterone in that mashup.
That's exactly right.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers with 5:21. See on the sideline, Ammon Takao still limping a little bit, so he definitely got popped pretty hard on that last drive. Parker juggles the snap, throws it, it is caught.
Kept him in bounds, so means Hurricane trying to move there real quickly.
Yeah, this is one thing they're not as accustomed to doing also, is running kind of that hurry-up offense. 8-yard gain on the pass play. We also haven't seen Parker take any snaps out of the gun, I've noticed. They do have shotgun packages for Hurricane. Nice catch! And tripped up at the last moment is Kyle Williams. He'll pick up a first down at the 35-yard line.
Half a step away from breaking it on that one.
Yeah.
Looks like Hurricane's hurrying up there.
First and 10. Parker rolling to his right, throws it high and out of bounds. Good heads-up play to throw it out when he quickly figured out he didn't probably have too many options there.
That was a wise, save a little time.
The sophomore is growing up quickly here in these playoffs, isn't he? But, you know, if
baptism by fire, as they say.
You could say that. You know, but the good news if you're a Hurricane Tiger fan is you've got a lot to look forward to next year.
Absolutely.
Parker's going to be back. Jake Carr, Nick McDaniel, some of these key offensive players are going to be back raring to go. Long pass on the left-hand side, juggled and caught by Williams. Knocked out of bounds at the 22-yard line.
What a catch by Williams.
That was crazy.
Concentration, the defensive guy in your face, and make the catch.
I wanted to see that again on the replay, but
there we go. Nope, they're not showing it.
So it's first and 10 from the 21. 4:20 and counting.
Yeah, the clock's moving. Not sure Hurricane needs to move with a little bit of urgency.
Yep, they still need to get another score if they're able to put points on the board here. And obviously they need touchdowns. Field goals are not going to do them any good. And a false start. Boy, jumping out of his stance there, Russell Cox. That's tough. Some of these players probably, you come out of the huddle and you've got to have a little more urgency going, and maybe some had a little more than others, but so first down now, the 26-yard line. Parker back to pass, throws the slant, and should have been picked off.
Yeah, Dixie calling for the flag. I don't think he's going to get on that. He just jumped the route.
He did.
And
it's actually a good defensive play by Elison.
Yeah,
he may have actually made a little contact,
a little bit, but I don't see that being called very often.
So now it's 2nd and 15, 3:51 remaining. Hurricane kind of desperately trying to put points on the board as quickly as they can. A young team trying to stay in the state title game, heaving towards the end zone, and a great play at the and flags come in.
The defensive back there, number 25, did not look back and ran into the Hurricane offensive player.
Wow. That's a tough call. I mean, that's tough. That's a tough one. But you're right. As a defensive back, if your head doesn't turn, you're always susceptible to getting the flag.
Absolutely. Doesn't need to be very much contact. The Hurricane kids slowed up.
So a huge call there.
Well, you saw the hitch and go.
Boy, Parker took a heck of a hit. Shot, too. Boy, I didn't think there was much there.
There wasn't much contact.
Hurricane got a break there.
Yeah, there was not a lot of contact.
Dixie fans booing. He might have had something there. So ball now down to the 13-yard line. Long count, rolling to the right is Parker. He's got to throw it. He throws it short. Threw it as he was hit.
Boy, that almost looked like a screen pass for the block.
Yep.
That whole right side of the Dixie Flyer off defensive line didn't get blocked.
Whew. So third down. You do wonder, there's 3:39 left, but you have to take this in kind of baby steps too. You can still get a first down, so maybe you concentrate on getting the first.
I say you get the first down and then and try to score. Don't go away from Hurricane football.
Sure. And Dixie sensed that as Iramia gets the carry and he gets across the 10. He'll pick up the first down, and it'll be 1st and goal Clock stops as they set the ball after the first down. 3:35, and now the clock rolls.
Now you got a new set of downs.
Parker under center, a blitz, thrown high, trying to adjust on it was Williams, but Parker had a really hard time trying to get set as he was blitzed, and
Oh yeah, the defensive line was right in his face.
he did a great job not to get sacked, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tough call, good attempt on the adjustment by Williams, but incomplete. Second and goal. Play fake on the reverse, thrown into the end zone, caught, touchdown, Noah Elison.
Great catch by Noah. Boy, he has had a fantastic game today.
Wow, he really has, and good for him that he was able to get a touchdown after all that work too.
Yeah.
So the drama continues.
Yeah, 3:16.
So are they going for?
Did you kick this one?
I kick it first.
I'd kick it first because if you miss, if you don't get the 2-point conversion, then you're in a world of hurt.
Yep. So at least this way you have hope.
Yep.
Kick is up. Kick is good. And a flag comes in. Was there a running into the kicker? Is what I'm wondering.
Boy, then that makes the decision a little tougher. Both teams are running off to the sideline though.
But if it's if it's an after the play running into the kicker, then they
just
can mark that
moves you
off
up
on the kicker.
Yeah, and then you just kick it out of the end zone and try.
Well, they're gonna onside kick it, don't you think?
I would.
Yeah.
With 3, yeah, it's true. 3:16.
Running into the kicker is the call.
Okay. That helps. If Hurricane is able to get this onside kick, recover it, add you another 10 yards for your field position.
Yeah. So this is big.
Big play.
This could be it right here on the onside kick. Although you do have to wonder if Dixie does recover it, is Takao not being as mobile going to affect their ability to kill the clock?
There's a possibility with that. I haven't watched to see how's he doing on the sidelines, Takao.
Last I saw, he was still limping a little bit. So, but if you're Hurricane, you definitely want the onside kick. So Hurricane will kick from the, is it from the Dixie 45?
That's what it looks like. I see that official standing right there.
So if they recover it, they've got great field position, don't they? A lot of drama here at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Travis Brunstead and Brad Christensen, happy to be with you. Enjoying a heck of a football game. Played by two teams that you hate, it's so cliche, but you really do hate to see either of these teams lose because they've really played their guts out.
They have both played really well, worked hard to get to this point. Both beat some teams that maybe they weren't supposed to beat last week to get here.
Here's the onside kick, and it is recovered by Dixie. Just not a lot of bounce on that one, and that's the one thing you need if you're going to have a shot at it. So.
Well, you've got your hands guys up there, defensive back, receiver.
So now it's up to Dixie to kill the clock. Hurricane still with 2 timeouts. 3:15 left, so this is still quite a bit of time. They're going to need to pick up a couple of first downs.
And you got to, Dixie has got to get at least 1 first down.
Yeah, for sure.
Hurricane still has 2 timeouts.
Takao hands off to Miller, and Miller with a nice run out to about the 40, so he'll pick up about 5 yards.
Boy, Miller has played well.
And if you're Hurricane, I'm surprised he got that much yardage. I would think if you're Hurricane, you got to key in on Miller a little bit more at this point, knowing Takao is gimpy.
You would think so.
So timeout taken by Hurricane. They will have one left. They stop it with 3:07. So,
boy, the
crazy.
high school clock just runs fast too.
Yeah.
So, if it's not an incomplete pass on the run, when they get that clock running again after a first down, it's just tough.
It is. It really is. So much little detail that goes into these things that make all the difference, whether it's a block punt, whether it's an interception,
Yep.
little penalties here and there.
A big run, a missed block, a game of inches.
Yes, it is. Second down and a fumble! Fumbled by Dixie! Oh my goodness! Oh, that is a huge play.
Dixie dodged a bullet.
Now, now it's going to be third and extremely long. We said they needed to get a first down. Harrison was in at quarterback then, I think.
But the snap went right under his legs.
It did.
The snap was not good.
So now here's the question, Brad. Put on your coaching hat. 3rd and 21. You want to kill the clock. Are you going to pass here?
I think you almost have to.
Yeah.
I don't. You have to try to get a first down. But boy, then that puts you in a tough situation where, is there a possibility of an interception?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the pressure. It allows Hurricane to pin their ears back.
Do you blitz?
I would.
Yeah, I would too.
I would. The only time they've had any success is putting a little bit of pressure on the quarterback.
That's when Takao has struggled more. I agree with you. So a huge play here. 3rd and long. Takao does look to pass. Little bit of pressure. He runs to his right, throws it. It's going to be incomplete.
Now, is the high school rule when he's outside of that box? Because he wasn't throwing that to anybody.
Right. I think if you're outside the tackle box, you can throw it away. I think it's the same. So Hurricane's going to get the ball back with 2:53 left.
Quite a bit of time.
Yes.
One of the problems with Hurricane though is with the run, you don't get out of bounds much.
Yep.
The clock keeps running even when the first down happens, then the clock starts running again.
Yeah. I think they're throwing more than running though on this drive.
I think so too. A little bit out of character for Hurricane.
Punt. They let it go. It takes a little bit of a bounce, but they're going to get it at about the 35 with 2:42 left on the clock.
2:42, no timeouts. You got about 60 yards to go.
Ugh.
What a great game.
Really is.
This has been so much fun.
It has been. This has been a blast, and we're so grateful to those who've helped us out. Brad Haar, attorney at law, Cache Valley Bank, InfoWest, Trailer Source, Family Pharmacy, Camping World, Coral Canyon Chiropractic, Matt Hickman and our friends at Academy Mortgage, Planet Fitness, USU Eastern Snow College. Fantastic stuff. First down, Parker with the pass to Williams, and he slips and falls. Oh my goodness. And the defensive back had turned his ankle. If Williams can keep his footing,
He is gone.
Yeah. Boy. That's what we talk about, little things.
Now, do they charge that timeout to Dixie?
I think it's an injury timeout.
Okay.
So I don't know if they charge him a timeout per se.
With the under 2 minutes, I don't know if they do that.
Because if you're Dixie, I don't think you want, that's not one where you're faking an injury to stop the clock.
Absolutely not.
Because you want the clock running. So clock runs now for the Tigers. 2:20 and counting. Ball near the 40-yard line. Parker under center. Here's the snap. He's back to pass. Pump fake. Looks long. Throws long. Trying to adjust, and it is knocked down, incomplete.
Pressure by Martinez again up the middle. He's playing that right tackle, and you've got to get 2 kids on him.
Yeah.
Especially at this point.
Oh, yeah.
There've got to be at least an offensive lineman, maybe a running back, who are over keen on him.
So 3rd down. Dixie defense kind of signaling, to the fans, get your hands up, make some noise, see if you can rattle this Tiger offense. Play action, Parker looks, throws to Iramia, he catches it, breaks one tackle and gets out of bounds, first down. Heads up play by Jeremiah to get out of bounds too.
Great decision by Jeremiah. Tough play by Parker again. Getting chased, got the ball thrown, fantastic.
Good call. Like I say, I love the plays where you know, a little something in the flat to a guy who can make a play if you give him some open space. And sure enough, a first down near midfield, under 2 minutes.
Still plenty of time. No reason to panic on this one.
Parker back to pass, looks, throws, got a man on the side. Good coverage, and it is intercepted. Dixie takes over. And the Flyers are in excellent position to win the state championship.
That was very, very well read by that safety.
It was. It's tough. It's tough when you have one man to one side and don't have something to keep the safety honest.
Well, and he's back there playing center field, just kind of watching where the throw's going to go, and enough air time under that to easily be able to go get under it.
And it's a pattern they've gone to the well to a few times.
Oh, yeah.
So the Flyers have it. 1st and 10, 1:51 left on the clock. Here's Miller on the handoff up the middle. Picks up a couple of yards. We'll see where they spot him. Looks like they're going to give him about 3. Tigers out of timeouts. And if you're Hurricane, I mean, you had your chances. It's not like you got blown out.
No.
You definitely had your chances to win this game.
Yep. At this point, Hurricane's just trying to strip the ball.
Anything to keep the play alive and make something happen. Yeah, I agree.
But boy, they have played hard. Nothing to hang your head about on this one. I know that's a cliche as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games where at the end of it, you just say, Dixie, they made a play or two more. I mean, that's what it came down to.
That's
and,
it.
And Dixie, Dixie has earned it.
They have.
There's nothing cheap. I thought it was a clean game on both sides. Like I said, both of these schools, you see a lot of schools in their same region with a lot of issues and maybe a little bad blood, and there certainly is some of that in that southern region, but these two schools work very well together. A lot of respect. The coaches like each other. The administrations like each other.
They do.
Handoff. Not much there.
.26 seconds left.
The officials stopped the clock. So I'm not sure why they stopped it, but... So Dixie I think they'll have to snap the ball, but I think they can essentially snap it, run, take a knee.
Fourth down.
Well, they can take the snap with 1 second left, run a couple of feet and take a knee.
Run a step and be done.
So the Dixie fans on their feet, excited. And there it is. The Dixie Flyers... the refs are stopping it. Did Dixie take a timeout, or are they just going to call the penalty here?
I didn't see where the...
They do say timeout Dixie.
By Dixie.
So they'll stop it with, I think there's 1 second left, or 2 seconds, they're saying. But still, I still think it's the same story. I think you take the snap, you run it a couple of yards and fall down.
Run a sweep to the right, and it's over.
Sure.
Yeah, I couldn't see the play clock to know where that was.
Yeah, it was within a second, so. So Dixie fans, your celebration is postponed momentarily, but
barring a crazy, bumbled snap and fumble recovery and run in.
Sure. No, and in the dealings that I've had with Dixie High, they're fantastic people. Coach Monkers, Mike Baer, the athletic director, fantastic guy. Really good people. So
great people. They are good folks.
Here's the snap.
Congratulations to the Dixie Flyers.
And there it is, the Dixie Flyers, your 2014 3AA state champions. Congratulations to the Flyers, and congratulations to the Tigers. They played a really solid game, and they were a hot team at the end of the year, and nothing but respect for the way they turned their season into something really positive.
There were some of those preseason predictions. The coaches had Hurricane listed
pretty high.
I think third.
Yeah.
In the region. But some of the others, they just the press and the newspapers and stuff just didn't think that Hurricane was going to be very good.
They had them like 5th or 6th.
Yeah, and so good job for them. I mean, It was exciting.
Yep, and
what a fun year of football.
Yep, a lot of kids on these two teams that are friends, and you see a lot of handshakes and hugs. And for all those seniors, congratulations. Enjoy this memory, and look forward to bigger and better things in the future, as we do coming up. Your next game here on KSL and Deseret News will be Bingham and American Fork. Should be a great game. Be sure and tune in for that. Appreciate our partnership with KSL and Deseret News. Appreciate you watching and having a fantastic year with us following the Dixie Flyers and the Hurricane Tigers. Again, your 2014 state champions, the Dixie Flyers. For Brad Christensen, I'm Travis Brunstead. Keep it tuned to KSL and Deseret News and have a fantastic weekend.